Oh my god. Ugh.
It's been a hella morning for me before we even started. Or before I started.
Oh,
Why do people
brother.
think that it's easy to like come at me?
Oh my
I
god.
don't know. I could tell. Oh, hey, we got audio coming from me in here. Where are you,
It's
audio?
been a hella morning for me before we even started.
We've got a.
Or before I
We're on an
started.
infinite loop. No. Oh, there we go. It's gonna be one of those days, it seems. Hell yeah. Oh no. Social. There it is. Okay.
Are you
I
okay?
realized I had forgotten to pull up VMix Social because I'm a professional and this is how I do this. Hey Jesse, good to
you're a
see you. What's going on?
Oh,
my
hey,
friend?
Jesse, my man. How you doing, dude?
I hope you saw that diglet I posted for you.
Of
I
course.
should
you
pull
saw
that up and show. I should show that on stream actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, hold on, I'll go find it. I got a minute, right?
Yeah.
I got time. I'm fast. Right?
I thought this was your channel.
Well, it's more like, can I pull it up fast enough? I just put it in. I put it in Jesse's Discord, but I didn't actually tag him in it. Because I was just like, this is just.
Can you tell me about your cosplay?
Like,
Diglet.
no, wait, don't play yet. No, go back. No, stop, please.
Can you tell me about
I
your
beg
cosplay?
you. There we go. Alright, there we go. Everything's under control, don't worry about it. Oh, goodness. Oh, buttons. I've lost everything. What have I done?
Hello.
Welcome back to Don't Feck Friday.
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 It's going to be fun.
Hello! Welcome back to
What's
Don't Feck
up?
Friday.
Hello, sup, everyone. Welcome back.
I hope
How are
everybody
we
had a
doing
good...
today?
Yeah, I hope everybody had a good last weekend, because last weekend was Canadian Thanksgiving, so for anybody who's doing that, great. We're here to talk about shenanigans, although on the news, we'll probably be talking about all of the crazy news stuff, so that's going to be, like, the most depressing episode ever, so good luck with that, I guess.
Well, we'll try not to make it depressing. Well, I'm sure I'm gonna end up doing something stupid, and people are gonna just go,
I mean, it do be like that. It do be like that. Hello, everybody.
Always be
Welcome,
like that.
welcome. I do like that 2-minute countdown start. It does seem to be very effective.
It is.
So-
2 minutes better. Yeah. I think so. Before you had 3 minutes, right?
No, I
No.
had the 2-minute
Was it?
countdown. It was always been the 2-minute when I added it, and then there's like the fire thing, and the fire thing is like just under 2 minutes. So basically, there's like almost like a 5-minute gap from when the live starts to when we actually get in.
Yeah.
This is Statue S as a troll doll. I need a gem on my belly button. Alright. So I have a couple of funny things that I want to show you before we get into goofy shit, just because, like, me and Manya have both been laughing about, like, one of them for 2 days, and the other one is one that I sent to Jesse, and, like, you guys just need to see this. So we're just gonna jump into this really, really, really quick. Like a boonie, as I am not put together right now. I don't know what is happening, but my brain has just not gotten into VMix mode for whatever reason. It's fine. Also,
Don't
thank
do
you
that
to
to me, Shesh. I'm drinking coffee. Please.
every time. You just need to stop drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Thank you to the lovely people that are listed below who are supporters of the channel financially. Thank you so much. It lets us keep doing what we're doing. It also helps me put art out for free. So if you want art, I've basically put like a copyright waive. So if there's anything that you want to see that I haven't done and you would like me to do that you can use for D&D games, that you can use for a t-shirt if you want to, I don't give a shit. You can take it and sell it. Good luck. More power to you. Let me know if there's something you want to see. In the meantime, I gotta show this to you guys.
Yeah, please.
This one, here we go. I can't really make it any bigger because it's a short, and shorts are dumb, but this is it.
Diglet. Why'd you pick Diglet? The memes. And so you decide I'm gonna come to DreamCon with no shirt on? I did.
Are you a bodybuilder?
No.
So you just got just brawling for no reason?
Yes.
What would be your words of motivation if someone wants to look like you?
Diglett.
Can you tell me about your cosplay?
Diglett.
Diglett.
Why'd you pick Diglett?
The meme.
Oh god, that's so cute.
The memes. And so I sent this in Jesse's Discord with just his name in all capital. Diglett. And
That's
the
a
other one
very
is
fantastic attitude to have in your
the
life.
memes.
That's like
So
We
we've
stand
also
for
got
the
this Asterion one. So for anybody who's playing Baldur's
Okay.
Gate,
before we start, this is the clip that decided me that made me decide to take out my credit card and buy this game last night.
she bought the game. Hilarious. Diglett. Can we? I really am now hoping that Jesse's gonna whip his phone out and send me a video, like it's a second long video that's just him pointing at the camera and selling me Diglett. It would just make me so happy. All right. Secret to my success, Diglett. Hear me out, Goblin
Yes.
Diglett. Diglett is my new
We
hero.
ride at dawn for Diglett, bitches.
Diglett's the goat.
Now we need an emoji for Diglett. We need an
We need
emoji.
Diglett emoji. We do have Schmeppo
Yes.
on Twitch, so we need to add Diglett next.
Here. Can we get an emoji here? Can you get more emojis or not?
I don't know how many emojis I have. I have to go look. I might be able to put another
Okay.
one by now. I don't know. We'll see. Hey,
Okay.
Orange Videos. Good to see you. I was on their stream on Wednesday. That was hella fun.
Huh?
They ended up going for so long. My goodness.
Oh,
They
really?
were
How
live
long was
for like
it?
5 or 6 hours?
Damn.
Yeah. Alright. I gotta show you this Asterion. This is
And you pushed me. What in the sweet hells were you thinking? Activating that blast? I was right there! Gods! Next time. No. If there is a next time, I'll be the one aiming your powerful weapon. Thank you. After 200 years of shit, pure shit, I think I deserve something better. I was wondering when you're going to ask me about this. Oh. What?
Aw.
No. Don't you dare.
A few moments later.
Of course! What fun! I'm going to fucking kill you. The thing that will decide my fate forevermore. Yes, it's been on my mind. Why? I can't imagine getting bored of all of that myself. But you never know.
I cannot. This man is a cat. I'm convinced this man is a cat. I
Listen,
dream of a
who's
world
the voice
being
actor
that
for this guy?
smarmy. Who's the? Oh, good question.
Who's the
Hold on,
voice-
I'll pull it up.
Please find out, whoever it is. If I can send him a gift, I'll send him a gift because it's like he made my day yesterday or my night, whatever. It was like I was laughing my ass off, and you know, Shish, I watched it on a loop like I don't know how many times.
It's so funny. New. Neil Newborn is the guy's name.
Oh, okay.
They played Dungeons and Dragons as their, like, the voice actors got together, played D&D as their Baldur's Gate characters. Absolutely
Oh,
hilarious.
it's this guy. Okay.
Oh my god. New.
And I was like, damn, can you get any more sassy? Yeah, of course. I'm gonna kill you.
We're absolutely not going to do this. No way. Oh yeah, sounds like a great time. I'm
No.
going to fucking kill you.
I'm going to kill you.
This is
Just
like
on
a
the
this
side
is
note,
like
like addendum, you know.
I would love to. I dream of a day of ever being this sassy. Like this is like this is like god tier. But then again, when you're a 200-year-old plus vampire, I mean, you got a lot of years to practice, and you're pretty much immortal. So whatevs.
Yeah, he got a lot of practice.
I haven't played the game yet, and I'm convinced this man has a death wish.
Well, he's a vampire. Like, what do you expect? He's like, I'm gonna die anyways. Why not die like something like in a funny way?
Maybe. He's like, I'm gonna die pounding like a lich or something like that.
like a wench in the field, like going off.
Jesse says that the voice actor is adorable IRL, and I do not doubt that for a second. That's. Then
No,
again, I
no.
don't know if I would ever doubt anything Jesse told me. Literally ever. I was just
Yeah.
Jesse
I'm
can
just
tell me the
like,
sky is pink, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
well, the sky does go pink sometimes, Pia.
Sorry, I should have picked plaid.
Yeah, the Earth is flat. Jesse says,
The Earth
yeah, of
is
course it's flat.
Yeah, of course it is. This is now a flat Earth channel. Thank you. All right.
Well, if
So-
Jesse wants it to be a flat Earth channel, why not?
So I hope you guys enjoyed the video that came out yesterday. Or wait, no.
Oh.
Yesterday? Yes,
Oh.
Thursday yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It was a good one and got some really good reactions on Twitter, if I might dare say.
The
Go check
comment
out my
section-
timeline.
The comment section is lit.
Oof. It's like savage.
I will point out that as of right now, I have not blocked, muted, or reported, or put out any, like, all of the comments that are there are currently the ones that are there. I have not removed anything as of yet. I likely will not, but oh boy.
I don't think so there's anything to remove. Everybody's like having fun there.
It is on fire. Canadian sky isn't plaid. No, it's maple colored. It's like that golden. I'll never be honest with you if you look messy. I will 100% lie and compliment you or something. What do you mean? I thought I looked adorable messy. How could you do this to me? I've lived my entire life looking like a ragamuffin. No! My entire existence.
Don't do that to my friend here like that, Jesse. She's not gonna mop and wind the whole week. Come on. And I have to deal with it.
All right. So we have this tech thing that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, of course. Because people, anything that comes from a channel that says tech and has a lot of followers, people.
Yeah, you were saying
doing that. Hunch like a goblin.
All right, go on. Yes.
So people think that because a Twitter channel has like a lot of followers and it has tech, in its username, and it posts good shit once in a while, that everything it posts is going to be good shit. And I just casually like disagreed with something they put out. Because as someone who has an engineering degree, plus works in risk management, plus who has, attended lectures from people who have worked in risk management and aviation industry, especially people who have dealt around risk management in air crashes. Yeah. So I know a thing or two about all this shit. So I was like, nah, that's not a great idea. So I will show you.
I guess we
what
talk
it's
about this first.
and
This is tech.
It's a
burrito.
concept.
Yeah, it's a concept.
Yeah, they do have some good stuff.
I don't know if there's much audio to it, but
no, there's good. Oh, there is. I can already see so many issues.
all right. So let's look at this issue, because you had said, I think you would link the video. You said this is not a great idea, and then enlighten us. Here we go. All right. So here we go, Manu. What do you want to look at first?
Okay, so I'm probably showing a situation where it's a crash happening.
Yes.
Right. And they're saying that, okay, it's better to
screw the
remove
pilots.
capsule.
Bye. Whee!
Yeah, detach the capsule like you would do in a spaceship where there's no gravity.
Right.
That's what it looks like. But it's not that simple. Number one, who's going to maneuver this? Okay. What if the weather's bad?
What are you how?
Who's deploying the
part?
parachutes? Yeah. Who's deploying the parachutes? Number one, and do you have what would you say, rigs or wires with tensile strength thick enough, or wire ropes thick enough and strong enough with the tensile strength to bear that load? we already have issues with high, rising cranes with
And
winds and
altitude,
shit.
yeah.
And you want to put a capsule on probably like 2 to 3 rigs in air at that height to allow it to come down. Number one, you won't have any control. At least with the pilots, when you're coming down, you will have control. And you can try for control. Right? And how much integrity will be left if this capsule detached from the aircraft? How much integrity will that structure have to, fight against the elements that are there at that height?
Mm.
Number one. And number two, what if the weather's bad?
I don't understand I don't understand why you want to lose the wings. Why wouldn't you just drop the engine? Like, wouldn't that be better?
No, that would also be. Well, it depends. Like, if the engines have failed, then it might be a good idea because then
that's what I'm
makes the
assuming.
airplane lighter.
Like, from the way this looks,
Yeah.
like it looks like what they're presenting is an engine blowing out. So, like, wouldn't it be better to keep the rest of the plane, drop your engines, and then manually control like your flappies on your things and turn it into more like a glider? And no, it wouldn't function as a proper plane in that case, and would still have issues, obviously. But at least then you have wings.
Yeah, and you know how much potential energy that thing will accumulate at that height.
Well, it's dropping it. It's dropping it backwards, as if this part isn't going to still be continuing forward and down at that angle. So it has to have some kind of thrust. Space. Well, it'd have to have some kind of thrust that's detaching it from this.
Yeah.
That is equivalent, and then you have like the incredible jarring effect of like just the.
Yep. And then also, this is not space. It's not going to like stay in that. Like, it's not going to go backwards. It might go along. So if the plane's going like that, it will detach and it will go the same direction as the plane's going at the same
unless
speed.
You put some kind of backwards thrust.
Yeah, which I don't see anything like that. And then to suddenly deploy parachutes, the amount of jerk that will have. The passengers are just gonna fly. As soon as the parachutes deploy, boom, everybody's gonna hit their head to the ceiling. So I don't know how much you're going to depend on your seatbelts. Oh yeah, of course. They work all the time, of course. So there are a lot of issues with this. Number one, why wouldn't you want the pilots to control something? You can't control with parachutes. Number two, do you have equipment strong enough to withstand like the height like that and the winds like that? I don't think so. And number three, what when the weather's bad? When there are high winds and when there's a thunderstorm, especially when you're going through a thunderstorm, you don't want to use this method at all. This might look practical for this. I think so. I know where this came from. This came from when astronauts are coming back from the space station. Mm-hmm. That's where it came from. But we have to remember that astronauts coming from the space station, they're like what, maximum 12 in number when they're coming back, and the capsule is still very, very small and compact. And there are still dangers of the whole aircraft burning up. So, well, they don't use a parachute until they reach a certain height, but that's fine. But the thing is that same concept cannot be applied everywhere because there are a lot of people in that and a lot of weight.
Right.
And when it splashes down flat onto the ocean floor, yeah, it's going to create a lot of problems at the integrity of the structure beneath. Just because and also if you're trying to go for something inflatable, what material can you find to hold such a lot of weight? Do you know how many tons that would be?
Well, you also mentioned
where's that pressure there coming from?
Well, yeah, right. You also mentioned that the like who's going to deploy what, and I'm like, well, obviously it's going to be the Tesla AI driving robot.
No, please, thank you. No.
Then the parachutes might spontaneously catch on fire.
Oh yeah. Oh god, no. So yeah. And all I can see is that there's an attachment between the capsule and the parachutes. I guess it's to make sure that the the pressure beneath the parachute stays well distributed.
No, look at that.
But I don't know.
This is like a bunch of air that's supposed to slow it down by pushing it downwards.
Yeah, like how are you going to deploy that? Who's going to deploy that? Is it an automated thing? How are you establishing that? Who's programming that shit? That's also another thing. I know where this came from. This came from when the capsules come back from the space with all and they detach
fairings.
themselves from the
Yeah.
and it's okay when it's like a few people and very few equipment. This is having, I think, so on average, what, 200 minimum people?
Well, the fairings have
Right?
no people. They're just like elongated
That also
pieces of,
and sometimes yeah. So it's like pieces of like rockets that come back down the earth. So yeah, it looks wonderful. It looks wonderful, but it's not practical. Take it from someone who has, worked with some people in the aviation industry and who has an engineering degree. It looks fantastic. Maybe, I don't know. I don't understand why would you lose the pilots who have been trained, who know what to do in every situation, who are in control. There's no one it doesn't seem like anyone's in control here, and that's where you start thinking, okay, this can go wrong in so many places. So yeah, that's why I was just like, I'll talk briefly about this, because it's like,
and Feline makes a really good
yeah.
point about how this shit barely works on Mars, and Earth
Yep.
has like there's so much different.
The gravity
things
on Earth
going
is like,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, good point, Feline. So it's like, yeah, there's some concepts that are very, very fascinating and look very good in concept, but not
Well,
not in practicality.
They're just expecting this not to bounce.
It's all first not to bounce and then not to explode with the pressure that it's gonna come down.
The pressure,
even with
the
those
heat.
booster
Like,
rockets
could you imagine,
or whatever.
So like, well, there's a reason a plane is shaped the way it is, right? It's aerodynamic, so that way like the friction does not like screw with it while it's going, right? That's why it's shaped the way it is. But if you
I don't
look
think
at
so.
this
It's
thing,
aerodynamic.
it's going like this,
Yeah,
backwards at a different shape, and then going flat down, as if that were as if it's not gonna like spin like a motherfucker as soon as you get it, which is gonna tangle all of those things up.
Yes. Number one, it's gonna flip around. Number two, like Shad said, friction, atmospheric friction, gonna fuck this whole thing up. It's very dangerous. Like, I don't know who came up with this concept. Maybe you might want to patent it, maybe for the future. Like a Noah's Ark. Oh no shit. Oh, that's how Noah got everybody. Okay, above the flood. Okay, got it.
And then the
yeah,
water,
just,
as if water is gonna be like, it goes into the water before the stuff like it puts out, right? There's
yeah.
This is like in a perfect scenario. This is how it would work. It's like
this is like when you have everything under control, and being that high up in the air, not everything is under control all the time. Nope. So yeah, Intrigue said it will need heat shielding. Yes, it will need heat shielding, and I think so. If I'm not wrong, the airplane structures, there are so many small parts joined together. There are so many small parts riveted together, so that if one place rips out or breaks off, the rest of the structure remains like consistent. It doesn't like affect the other half of the structure. So yeah, so try and land that something like that, that can splinter like that onto water or onto land. It's going to be a very dangerous task. There's a reason we have wheels.
It's also adding a lot of things to the plane, right? So you're adding whatever these things are, the thrusters there, and then you're adding also so whatever weight they carry, as well as whatever's in them and the weight of whatever that is. Because I don't know what this is. This could be air pressure. This could be, I don't know, rocket fuel. I don't fucking know. Whatever they've put in here. So now, and there's 4. Look at the size of these tanks compared to the size of the plane. These are massive.
Massive, yes.
Where are you storing them?
Number 1, storing them, and number 2, what I was saying was, where are you going to attach them? And how are you going to deploy them?
And it also means, like, you have to now the plane needs that much more fuel, which is now more weight to get from point A to point B of wherever it's going. This is like something that like a bunch of like drunk college kids were talking about around a bar that was written down on a napkin, and one of them was just like, I'm gonna make it an animation.
Yeah. This will be good
But now
for my animation
now we live on the
project.
internet where this shit, instead of just ending up like as a drunken memory that everybody laughs about 20 years from now, turns into
It's
like an
oh,
internet
that looks like a
discussion.
good idea. I'm like, no, this is not a good idea. And I really hope that people who watch me critique this, it's not like I'm hating on this. No, I'm not. But being someone who has watched a crash happen to the most, like, due to most, like, smallest of thing, a fucking nut being the wrong nut,
Yeah.
the glue being the wrong glue, and the whole plane crashes because of that. Yeah, I will tread with major caution, extreme caution when indulging such concepts, especially when you're in air like 20,000 feet in the air. Like, nah, you might want to stick to your tried and
That's
tested
fair. I gotta
methods.
stop doing that. I gotta take that down first. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll figure it
yeah, I
out.
can see my face.
Listen, I'm fine. Everything's fine. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I do have one giggle to do before we jump into our long thing, which is gonna be we're talking about Shad and AI art, which is great. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to hear what
Yes.
fucking Shad has to say about fucking AI art. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so much fun. Why did I even merge out of this? Like, we're going right back into this. So, the transvestigators are transvestigating Margot Robbie.
Oh god.
Look at how thick her Adam's apple is, guys.
Where is her Adam's apple? I can't see shit. Where?
Margot Robbie is trending. This is a dude. You can see that, right? I regret to inform you they are transvestigating Margot Robbie.
Nani the fuck?
Oh, thanks, readers, for adding content. It's okay, let them be gay.
That actually says a lot about them if they're like, oh, I see Margot Robbie as a transgender, and they're like, dude, your inner gay is coming out. Let that guy come out. It's okay. We won't judge you. Someone was like, Smithy. Oh god.
Fluoride stare.
Oh god. Like people are so paranoid these days. They're like they go nuts at Margot Robbie is beautiful. She's fantastic. She's beautiful. And even I have a crush on her. I had a crush on her when she did the Tanya Harding movie, and I was just like, damn, this chick can do stuff. Ethan's hashtag gay for Margot. Yes, we write it down for Margot Robbie. Yeah. It's like, look at that. She's so beautiful. It's like, can you not just enjoy beauty? Like, just
All right,
enjoy.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like, it's like,
this picture looks like whoever put this like photo shoot together and like edited it after the fact looks like her head has been cut out, made bigger, and stuck back onto the body. Like, look at this line. It's like, I don't know.
It's like this.
Well, I mean, that's a thing you can do, right? And like, you can get that angle and stuff. Like, it's fine. I'm not saying like they necessarily did a bad job, but I'm like, this looks like her head was like Photoshop cropped out and stuff.
And it's possible because magazines do that a lot. Like promotional, when people are doing promotional material, they do that a lot. They cut paste a lot because they think they can. So everything's possible and anatomically.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it may very well be the case. It's also not unlikely for transvestigators to go in and fuck with photos to say whatever they want about people.
no, that. Yeah, it's
anyway,
like, come
I just
on,
thought
man.
it was
Leave
really
Margot Robbie alone for the least.
I just really thought it was funny. I was just like, oh, good, here we go. Did you know women have? Did you know that women have jawlines? They have jaws. There's even teeth in there.
Oh, okay. Do they have a tongue? Okay, they have a tongue too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
They have a throat? Okay, they have a throat. They eat food? Oh, they eat food? Oh my god!
Their body then processes that food and sometimes makes gurgly noises. Ah!
Yeah.
Only men have stomachs that make gurgly noises.
Oh man, you should sympathize me when I'm hungry. I went to a dentist once, and
Once?
I hadn't had anything in the day once. Yeah, many times. One of those times, and I hadn't had any breakfast, so I was just lying, and he was doing his thing, like and then both of our stomachs growled at the same time. Both of our stomachs growled at the same time, and
That's funny.
I was like, should I say something? And then there was a pause when that happened, and then the machine restarted, and I was just like, he noticed it.
That's funny.
It was kissing. I was like, oh, poor thing. How long? When did he have his last meal? Because that guy's thin as my dentist, thin
Right.
as, and I'm like, I wonder when he like they work so like 24/7. I think so almost. They don't get a break or anything. So they don't eat. I'm like, dude, have some food. Now you're making me feel like worried about you.
Hangry. Man, people
Yeah.
get hangry is probably one of my favorite like just facts about human beings. Like people just get frustrated
Yes.
and angry when they're hungry, and it's like that's yeah. I mean, I can understand. I would love to see two documentaries like in a wildlife documentary style. One is voiced by like I don't know, this classic David Attenborough style by whoever you pick, and the other one is voiced by Rowan Atkinson, the guy who played Mr. Bean. And one of them is like your one of them is from one of them is from the perspective of humans being predators, and one of them is the perspective of look at the cute little animal.
They have learned to use tools.
They don't really
Wonder
swim
what they're
very
going
well
to do with
but
that hammer.
they don't really swim very well, but they like to they gather around water and just kind of splash around.
Oh, there's a channel called like Casual Geographic. That guy put humans in the category of predators. I don't know if you can find that commentary that he did. It was fantastic. It was like
Oh, that's great.
fantastic.
Humans
said, like,
deserve
oh,
a
this is
little
the
bit of
only-
respect.
Yeah, he said like, oh, this is the only animal on earth with the god complex. And I'm like, oh my god.
I don't know if that's true, but yeah.
Yeah, but that commentary is like fantastic. If you can find it, like it's like,
I can go looking. All right.
all right, what do we have here?
So this is Shad
Yeah.
making posts about his AI art, and he says his skills are increasing. And I'm wondering, is it your skills that are increasing, or is the AI getting
No.
better because it's getting more things put into it and people are using it more, so it's spitting out more specific things?
Yeah. It's not your skills, Shad. Stop.
I'm only asking because how do you tell the difference? Like, how does Shad tell the difference about whether or not he's getting better at utilizing AI, or if the AI is improving?
Yeah, like, show us the process you went through. Like, artists like you, Shesh, they make videos, like, of the whole process from start to finish, right?
Sure, sometimes.
But I just, all I see is like 2 pictures, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to make of it? I don't know what process you followed. I have no fucking clue. And also, if you're using AI, I don't know how much of maybe the AI is suggesting you to do things. Then, like, to put light here, to put light there, or to what do you say? Distribute the proportion sizes some way. The AI might be suggesting you that, and then in that case, this is not your work at all. It's just the AI. So I don't get it. I just it's like, if you're if you're so desperate to learn to do art, you could have just gone and done a few practice rounds. Just cause you want to look like a great artist doesn't mean that you use AI and just pretend that you're an artist. This is not great.
Well,
I don't
again,
know. Like,
I just don't know how he can tell whether or not it's his skills that are improving or if it's the AI that's getting better, right? Based on whatever prompts he's using, right? Because, like, I mean, he might be. I'm just saying I don't know. If you guys really want to, you can go back on my YouTube channel. I started recording and putting out, like, videos of when I first started doing digital art. So you can see where, like, what my skill level was at when I started, and then you could look at something more recent if you want. There's, like, a whole thing there. You could go and look at one video, like, a year and like, kind of track my progress as an artist. But that's... He made it absolutely. Oh no, we're getting to the video. Don't worry, we're getting to the video. He's gonna give you the process. But yeah, making a video as we speak, showing my process and how I get these results. The level of artistry needed, the technical knowledge required, and the amount of work involved, I think, is going to shock people. And so the thing is like, so I looked at Shad's video with his brother Jazza. And Jazza, who is an artist. Jazza's like the art attack of YouTube. I love Jazza. He's a lovely person. I was a little bit critical about his handling of this scenario, but looking back on it, I was just like, maybe Shad just bullied him. Maybe Shad just is
That's
like
possible.
so overbearing that Jazza was just like, okay, fine, whatever. And then that's how that's how it ended up. But regardless, I want to know what. I'm hoping he goes over this in the video, but what is making this, what makes one better than the other one? Because, like, if he has artistry and technical skills, he ought to be able to say, like, okay, well, the one on the left is worse than the one on the right. Why?
Yeah,
like, he should explain, he should be able to explain why.
Yeah, I might be able to say, I can explain why. But I don't think the Shad will be able to explain.
I don't think the one on the right is better, personally.
Well, it's a little more acceptable, if I might dare say. Let's say that. It's acceptable more than the left one, if I might dare say. Yes, there are proportions that are still wrong. The lighting is still wrong, and the face. Oh my God! Don't get me started about that. So yeah, like my AI assisted art skills 6 months ago. My AI assisted art skills now. Don't let people tell you that AI art requires no skill. It requires no skill. I'm telling you that. Someone who's just spent time like programming and shit, I'm telling you that. AI art requires no skill. And if you try and compare this AI art to this program to the programs that artists actually use to create art, then you have no fucking clue what technology is and what programming is and what programs are. You have no fucking clue. You're just sitting there talking out of your ass. The concept, the colors, what colors go where, how to play with lighting, how to use colors to represent lighting, how should an anatomy of a character should look like. Is it practical? Should it be practical? Not practical? Which direction is it going? That whole concept comes from the artist. It's like just picking up a paintbrush and using it. AI program is not a paintbrush.
If you want to look at this like from a concept,
yeah, both are boring
perspective, like from an artistry perspective, what is the focus? What's the focus of the one on the left versus the one on the right, and where does your eye get drawn to? So if you kind of like bobble your head around, close your eyes, and then look at this, what's the focal point of each photo? So like cover one up, and then say, okay, well, I want to look at this one. What's the focal point? What's the concept? And then like if you want to look at this one, okay, what's the focal point? What's the concept? What's the layout of the picture? And the answer is like your eye is on the right. I would suggest that it's likely that your eye is going to, when you just like look at it, the first place it's going to go is going to be the S on the chest. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but is that what was supposed to be the focal point?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, the thing is that in both the first and the second one picture, her face is
the left,
not in focus. It's like this face is in the left one, the face like half, second half is like half, and it's not like it's showing any quality of the whole picture. Like shadows can be used to enhance a picture or enhance a portrait of a character, but then there's a whole schematic behind it. There's a whole theme behind that. I see no theme here.
Well, on the right, in the left hand side, right, it's also as you kind of look at it and start taking it in more and more, it's very busy. But go ahead.
It's very busy, and the face is, you can't see the face at all.
It's very much.
And yeah, it's
back.
like I can't see the face. Yeah, and also if I may look, let me have a look. I can just go about this like all day long. So
Oh yeah, I mean you can
yeah,
look
the
up for art
shoulders,
forever.
the shoulders, yeah, the shoulders, and then obviously her cuffs on her arms, they are actually picked up from Wonder Woman, if I'm not wrong. And her legs, they look really wonky. I don't know, for some reason. Yeah,
Yeah. Barbie.
her
Barbie
legs are not
legs.
proportioned. Yeah, they don't look proportioned at all in both the pictures. In the left picture, you can see that the knee of the left leg is thinner than the right for some reason. And then on the right hand
Sure.
side of the picture, yeah, I don't see the dynamics in the picture. Like, okay, she's flying. This doesn't look like she's flying. It's just like she's posing.
Oh yeah, I mean
When
that's
you
not
see
terribly unusual for comic books either. So like that's I usually am like, okay, well whatever.
Yeah, but it's too posy for me. And again, light's very unnatural. Lighting is very unnatural for me.
It is a little bit all over
like
the place
which,
on the right one. The left one.
yeah, which side is it coming from? Because if she's turning this way and the light's coming here and the shadows are going there shouldn't be any light on her, on her chest here. The light is behind her.
You've got light here, you've got a shine here, you've got light here, and so like the light is all going different directions.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's coming from different spaces, but they're all equally as bright, which does not make sense to have a face this shadowed then.
Exactly. And then you can see sun at the back of her.
Like I've got a light right in front of me. Here, we'll do this. Look, I can show you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it should be like. Exactly.
Look at what it does to your nose if you move the light here. There should be dark.
I don't know why.
Is
where's
her
this
whole
light
nose
coming from?
light? She's got a little right there.
Yeah. Especially when the sun is behind her. I don't get it.
Well, you could have lighting, and like the sun can be behind, and you can still be front lit. You just be front lit by something besides the sun.
Yeah,
which is fine. Which is fine.
But I don't know what it is. It looks like the same thing as the sun. I don't know what that reference point is, like for that light.
Yeah.
So like and Shad saying that, oh, don't tell me that AI art doesn't require skills. I'm telling you, AI art doesn't require skills. Because what you're doing is you're feeding the work of other artists to your AI and letting it, produce things for you. Yeah, you provide instructions, okay, do this, do that. But apart from that, you're doing nothing. You're not coloring it, as far as I know. You're not coloring it yourself. You're not adding like lighting. You're not coloring in the lighting effects yourself. You're not doing that. Animation is something very different than using AI to say, okay, this is my art, or this is what I produced.
Well, I mean,
you're not doing animation.
I would also posit that whatever AI outputs is fine. I have an issue with people having an output.
I have.
What my problem is the input and how the AI is created. If the AI has bad data, then then whatever you output is irrelevant because what was put into it was initially the problem. So it's like I'm very happy for you that you can make wonderful, interesting things, and it's scratching that creative itch for you.
Yeah,
fine. However, you are it's the beginning of the process and the building of the AI or the machine learning. That's the issue, right? And so because that's a problem, whatever you put out is immediately like whatever.
So it's like. So is it actually him improving or is it the AI improving?
Good question.
So over here it looks like it's the AI improving, and I'm wondering what's the process by which it is improving?
Yeah, how is the AI improving?
Where's the data coming from?
You could put that work into learning digital painting and do that yourself. That is what is actual artistry. And then Shad responded and said, or you could do both. And then we've got his original illustration and AI realism conversions. So he's basically taking this and then putting realism and then maybe like a name and like tweaking it.
Oh
from
god,
there or
the right
whatever.
one looks so stupid. Like, oh god. That's clearly like something like that's AI. That's not him doing anything. He didn't do nothing on it. He just like modified the whole thing to match some sort of aesthetic. That's it.
Well, he's using the AI to copy somebody else's art style.
Yeah,
To take his
like,
art
for
style
example-
and make it look like somebody else drew it. So then if you don't like your art so much that you want it to look like somebody else's art so much so that you rip them off and copy them utilizing AI because you can't be bothered to be good enough to rip them off directly yourself. That's not really a point in your favor, dude.
At least people who trace, you know, they try and do it themselves. This is not even tracing, if I might dare say. This is not even tracing. Like, at least I'll give some props to people who try to trace. Like, there's some effort there. This is not even good enough to be called tracing.
What the fuck is that character? Bible bitch. She looks very cross. Boo!
So the one
He's
on
a
the right
Mormon,
is,
so I guess stealing is just fine in Mormonism. Can't call people by their correct. People can't call people by their correct pronouns. That's a sin. But stealing and ripping other people off. Yeah.
So I can say in the second picture is quite clear. This the first work is based on first stage or the third age of video game art. That's what the first image is. On the left. No, the second image on the left. That's based on the second or third generation of video game art. The right one is based on the current generation of comic books art.
Yeah.
So I know where the input is coming from, Shad. It's not from you.
Yeah.
You're just picking up a mode or an aesthetic, and that's what AI is doing for you. This is not you at all. So people are not stupid. I know what's happening here. Like, that's why you have not presented a full video of your process. Because you're just clicking on a button and it's like, oh yeah, this is my thing. And I even doubt that these pictures are your original artwork. I even doubt that. Because the first picture looks like it's being done by an AI that's been inexperienced. The first picture on the left-hand side, the girl with the bow. The first picture looks like it's like done from an inexperienced AI. That's not an original illustration, you idiot. An original illustration would be something you sketched on a pad or in an art software. Sketched it with your hand. Both of these images are not sketched at all. The one with the girl with the bow and the big ass sword. So none of it is original. So please stop saying that. And it's not realism. It's like so plastic. I want to puke. Even Barbie is not that plastic. Seriously.
Well, I mean, he didn't like the plastic of Barbie, so there's that. Oh, hi, Puck.
So yeah, so
you busting in my door like
Puck's
you're
here.
Shrek? Hey, buddy. Hey, you come on in.
Puck time. Puck in the chat.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, buddy. Okay, well, there's his butt.
I saw him make Shesh play fetch yesterday.
Yeah, oh yeah, he doesn't give... I'm the one who has to go get the ball, not him.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
He just does it. He's like, he acts so innocent, like he grabs the ball, throws it on the floor, and then just sits there like that, as if like, I don't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
So, here's his video. It's titled A Love Letter to AI, You Don't Need to Be Afraid. And I just...
Where's that? Can you send me the link in the chat?
What? Why? We're gonna watch it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you guys can have it in chat. Here you go. Yippee skippy. Artists can actually... Why are you wanting my sources, Manya? What the fuck kind of questions? Artists can actually benefit the most from AI art and don't need to be afraid. In this video, I want to share a perspective from an artist and show the very process of creating the best AI art with all the artistic talent you possessed which will surpass what anyone else can make with this technology. Okay, so if that's the case, why didn't the conversation that was like more debatey that between him and Jazza happen? Why isn't that public? The opinions from an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
What is it?
So, I mean, I think there is something to be
just-
said about learning about like how to lay out a piece of art, right? About like focal points and like I think you could do that. Like that's something that you could learn utilizing AI. So and learning how to and where to focus and to put together a proper concept. But no, whatever. But apparently he brought on an artist. So should we take a quick break, do our bathroom, get our drinks, and then we'll get started in the video?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay, that's what we will do then. So we will be right back, since we have been live for an hour, just to give us a little bit of separation time. And go get your drinks, go get some popcorn, and we'll be back in like a minute or two.
Yep.
I pressed the wrong button. There we go. Hello, it's me. Manya's not back yet. I don't know why her breaks are always so long. It's almost like she's a health and safety type person who knows how long a break is actually supposed to be and actually takes her whole break. I'm one of those people who like works through their break because I'm a loser. She's back. You're muted.
Madam, I came back. You weren't back, so I went back.
Oh.
Don't you dare try to put this on me this time. Nuh-uh.
No.
Oh god, I can't wait. The game's finally installed.
Yep.
It needed 130 GB of my stupid hard drive.
Yeah.
So I decided to like install it in my additional terabyte the something terabyte hard drive instead of
I agree.
my
Manya's
original
chair is
C
the
drive.
best streamer.
Yay.
No. I need to like. I think I'm gonna like.
Where's a brothel?
I think I'm. This is the channel is the brothel. What do you mean? I think I'm going to take that clip and I'm gonna make it like a reaction. So like, tell Elmo. We're just gonna have no.
Oh no. I can't get enough of that. I can't wait to play it today.
That's a good one.
I can't wait to like make a stupid character and just go run with it, rampant.
Do it. There's mods where you can play as a goblin.
Oh really? I'll see what I want to play. Maybe I just play a shithead human, like who's just like stirring bullshit. Or I was like, I don't know.
I was planning on playing. I was thinking about playing a human that just hits things with a stick.
Yeah, why not?
And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you mean like a monk or a barbarian?" And I'm like, "No,
just
my class
bonk.
is irrelevant. I'm just gonna hit people with a stick."
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
All right,
bonk.
are you settled in? Are you ready for how dumb this is about to get?
I'm not ready for how dumb it is going to be. I'm settled in. Hopefully, I don't fly out of my chair.
I also brought some chocolate milk.
Oh, chocolate milk! Damn, girl. I got something like a pizza bread, and I'm just like warming that up. I'm just like
freelancer class. Bonks are free. Get bonked. Best bonky boy.
Bonked.
Right.
Art is very important to me. Ever since I was a very young child,
Is it?
my imagination would run wild, creating characters and stories and worlds. And art has always been a profoundly important part of me bringing those worlds into greater reality. It started off with drawing, and that's a passion I still have to this day, creating new characters and depicting the worlds and stories I love to immerse myself in. It was a great revelation to me later on in life. It wasn't actually the physical, mechanical movement of drawing that I was actually enjoying, but it was the creation of something. There was some relaxation found in the methodical kind of movements of scraping a pencil along paper, but the true artistic satisfaction was in what I was creating. Otherwise, why wasn't I just drawing straight lines on a single piece of paper forever? But I do understand that there are some people that fall in love with certain mediums, but I still feel the greatest satisfaction comes from this process of creation. And then I discovered a new medium where I could depict these worlds.
Then wait, then why are you using AI art? Because you're not really part of the creating process anymore. That's removing the creation process from yourself.
Yeah, it's like if you just want an end product, just go buy a miniature from the market, dude.
Or pay somebody else
I
to do
created.
it.
Yeah.
Pay somebody else to do it.
It's like
Worlds and
he just wants the stamp of I created this without creating it.
Right.
You know,
he wants the end. He doesn't have the patience to get from point A to point B.
It's almost on the lines of plagiarism, my guy.
Characters to even greater reality, writing. And since then I've become a published author, and writing is one of the great passions of my life, as still is drawing and art. My artistic pursuits have just broadened. I love to explore different mediums and tools that help bring my artistic visions into greater reality in different ways. And I've always appreciated tools that help me achieve certain things that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
AI as a tool. AI is not a tool. AI is not a tool. Sorry, guy. It's not a tool. Don't try and sneak in AI as a tool. It's not. It's what would I say that AI is? It's like Chat GPT trying to do your paper for you. That's what it is.
Do I need to go find Shad's book?
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
How many pages it is? I just want to know. And how many illustrations are there that are AI generated? I don't hold it against people, self-publishing their shit. But don't try to use that as
what is it called? The Shadow
what do you say?
Chronicles or
As a
something like that?
as something to like what do you say? Back your shit up in another field. Like, okay, you might be a good author, doesn't mean that you're a good artist, or you have a good reason to say, okay, this is good, what good artistry looks like, or my art is genuinely art. Don't use expertise in one field to like try and push in another field unless they're related in some way. I don't think so that writing and art are like creating art are kind of directly related or connected. How much is it for?
$15 for paperback. That's not bad.
Not bad, yeah.
There's an Audible one.
Oh, okay.
Is there like...
Okay, my pizza's ready, but it's too hot.
Art
Pizza bread, sorry. So if I look at the art on the paperback, like, looks like it's been picked up from some of the art that's been presented in the video.
Maybe. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not analyzing this that hard. I refuse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if he's got anything else.
Go for it. Let's go.
Kindle edition. He talks like he doesn't. He has more than one book. It's just the one.
Yeah.
He's got two.
And
yeah, there's just the Kindle edition and then like a thing.
Yeah, that's I don't know. To be an author, you might have to like publish at least like more than a couple of works before you start.
I mean,
considering yourself
I'm
an
fine
author.
with people like calling themselves authors or artists without having like a whole ton of paid work, because that's not really what makes somebody an author, right? That's not really what makes somebody an artist.
Yeah, but to try and use that as an authority in another field is something else, isn't it? For that, I would say like,
yeah,
I'm going to consider you an author. If you want to use it as an expertise or as an authority, then I might set some standard for you, my guy.
Right.
So
yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, let's keep going.
I love the look of inked art on top of my pencil drawings, making the lines more bold and it to stand out and pop from the page, yet it was also a very stressful experience because there was also a greater chance of smudges, and I even had other images ruined when small bits of water, just droplets, fell on the page, making the ink bleed. So when
Was that your tears? Was that your blood, sweat, and tears you were putting into your where's the water coming from? A leaky roof?
That's what happens. That's what happens. I remember when I used to make like collages, we used to have like houseboats.
Part of what makes them valuable.
Yeah, I used to make houseboats. And we used to like make big collages for that. And I would go for like a lot of human depiction, and I would get the anatomy wrong a lot of times. So that the number of times I redid it and the amount of supplies I wasted when I redid it, it really frustrated my dad. But my teachers, they were so happy that I was trying again and again and not copying it from anyone. I learned, like, because once I got that piece of anatomy, like, okay, this is how it's supposed to look like from this angle, I never got it wrong again. So you have to learn by making mistakes, even if like in other programs like AutoCAD, engineering programs, like the regular, where you do programming and shit, automation, you make mistakes, and that's how you learn. And especially where they're required. Like, why are you so afraid of smidges? I've seen artists who are like proud of that shit. I'm like, yeah, okay, it got smudged here and there, but look what I created.
Well, and sometimes you do the smudge on purpose, and sometimes you make a smudge and then turn it into like something else. That's part of the process.
And it's like, why are you so ashamed of imperfection and worried about imperfection? That tells me you have something to work on. I get it. I also get anxiety. I also get anxiety when things are not perfect. That I do that sometimes with my handwriting. When I'm writing shit, I'm used to writing in cursive, and sometimes my cursive just goes shit. Especially when I'm writing fast. And then I beat myself down for it. And then I'm just like, then I have to rein myself back, and I'm like, I'm not a robot. I'm not an AI. You know?
I prefer to make
So-
a mess, personally.
Yeah, so I was like, mess will happen. So that kind of tells me you have control issues there somewhere going on. It's okay to be worried about, okay, oh, it's just in the final stages and in the last minute, something went wrong, you know? You got a stroke wrong or something wrong. It happens. It's fine. Like, just to say that you want to use AI and totally give up on developing your hand muscles and your hand memory to draw just because you got smidges and ink spilling out, that tells me that you're not that committed, my guy. You're not committed.
Well,
What are
it
you
seems
eating,
odd to
Shesh?
me. Popcorn! You can't see it.
What
It's a
color is
bowl.
that?
It's a hole into nowhere. It's a green screen. You can, there's no.
Yeah.
There is no popcorn.
Huh? Nani? Oh my god. God, it looks so weird. It looks so weird.
Here's the thing, right? This is the thing that I find kind of odd, is that he's presenting, like, he liked using tools to make his art do better and look better, but he's presenting pencils, paper, and pen as those tools, and it's like, how are you creating art without any supplies at all, as if they're tools that are not inherent to the process? Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's, you can make art through different mediums
what
in
I'm
different
saying, like-
ways, but you still need some kind of medium if you're trying to put something somewhere else.
Yeah, and so if you go and like watch Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and stuff, you have these like artists who have like made like really detailed sketches of the characters at you see in the epilogue of the movies, and they're
Mhm.
all handmade. They are not digital, and they're
Well,
so
same
detailed.
with like the old Star
and-
Wars posters.
yeah, and they're valued more than the bullshit the AI art spits out.
Well, AI art inherently currently holds no value.
Yeah, it doesn't. Not now because of the of what it uses as an input. I personally feel like because
Well,
yeah, it devalues other artists' work, in my opinion.
Well,
That's what
I'm
it
just
does.
saying, like, even besides that, AI currently holds no like whatever you output from it holds no value. And the reason it holds no value is because it's barely a replica, right? So the same
know
way,
what would
like
I
if you
like-
have you have a potter, like somebody who does pottery, and somebody tries to copy and emulate that pottery, sometimes throughout history, that the person who emulates the pottery can become famous in their own right, and then their pieces have
Using
value.
using a 3D printer to copy someone's pottery work is not pottery. Simple as that.
Well, the
Unless
thing is,
you
like,
have designed that pot yourself.
part of what
yourself,
makes
you've done the
something
designing
valuable,
yourself.
part of what makes something valuable is its accessibility and its
Yeah.
rarity and the desire for
Rarely,
it.
yes.
There is not a huge desire for AI art, right? And even if there were, when it's so readily available, it means whatever you personally output is not going to hold as much value as somebody who has a unique crafted skill, and it will be a unique crafted skill because only that individual could ever do it. Even the best replicators will still have things that are different to them. So,
and
it's
yeah,
no
there's
matter
a
what you
reason
do
why-
for an artist, it will be unique to that artist.
Yeah, there's a reason why Mona Lisa is so, in
Well, the
demand.
reason the Mona
It's
Lisa is
so
popular
desirable.
is because the reason the Mona Lisa
It's
was
the artist.
is popular though is because it got stolen.
Well, that too, but like it's a good.
You'd be
piece
better
art,
off.
too.
You'd be better off saying like Da Vinci's work is
Divisions, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
and
let's keep going.
also, if
Or
I
not.
may, dear, I was about to say something. You know what? I would use AI like art. Yeah, you produced a piece like the one in the pictures we saw for Supergirl or a Wonder Woman, whatever. Use that piece to try and sketch your own. You can use that piece as a reference.
I
You say,
would
okay,
not
this is what
recommend
anatomy
doing
looked
that.
like.
I would
Why?
not recommend doing that because
Why?
there is no guarantee that what the AI is outputting is actually good information.
Oh, yes.
There's
Yes,
too
you're
much
right.
bad information and too much garbled nonsense that you are better off to just draw realism. just take a look at
Or-
reference photos. You 100. The lighting
Yeah,
will be accurate.
you're right.
Like the thing is like the AI has. There's no like if you study and learn how to do art off of like AI generated stuff, what you're learning to draw is AI generated art.
I will give that. I'll give.
I mean, I think
that,
that'd be fascinating. Like, I think if somebody chose to do that and follow that path, and then was able to like recreate really weird, garbled hands and really weird nonsense that it seemed as if it was created by AI, that would be. If somebody wanted to do that, I wouldn't like, but I wouldn't recommend new people learning to do art who want to learn how to do art should be using AI.
Yeah, fair assessment. I
am down. I think people should trace more often, quite frankly. I think tracing is a fantastic way to learn because you start by kind of getting used to the hand movement and you like scratch lines and you trace to kind of like figure out and get to learn and then like move off of tracing into okay, now recreate it without tracing. Right?
Yeah,
and you can use that to kind of learn, and as long as you're not trying to sell it as if it's your own shit, that's fine.
Yeah, nah, don't do that. That's shitty, man. That's really low. So, Intrigued Feline from the live chat said, Manya, I think a better example would be that a lot of paintings only become valuable after the painter dies. Say Picasso, Van Gogh, etc. That's true. And there are some then, I think so, what's the painter's, Babinski? I don't know what that painter's name is. They are still popular even though they're alive, but their concepts, the way they use their paintings, like shredded, there was this artist who just shredded his piece after it got like sold off or auctioned off, just shredded it, and people are like, what the fuck, dude? Now that is something people will be like, oh my god, right? So yeah, what's the concept? And I'm still astounded that you're afraid of smudges and ink blots and shit. I'm like,
art
dude,
is
that's
messy.
part of
That's
the
half the
process.
fun.
Yeah, I know how many times I've got like paint on my like school uniform, and I'm supposed to wear that the next day because I decided
access
not
to a
change
scanner
it for
and
my
being able to scan my hand-drawn images onto a computer where I could digitally ink my images solved all the issues and problems I was having with hand.
The hand-drawn one looks better.
Yeah.
He did it better. Like, it almost looks like his art got worse when he switched to digital.
Yeah, it looks like the art that he's using, where he's saying he's using AI realism, that's not AI realism at all. It's plastic, my dude.
No. Look at the two that are on the screen. One was his rough that he did in pencil, and the other one is one that he did in ink. So, like, he scanned it, put it into a tablet, and then inked it over. The rough pencil looks better.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why is because digital art is different from physical art, traditional, right? So the skills that you use some of them are transferable, and most of them are transferable, but you need to practice and relearn how to do it because you're using different tools. My sketches in pencil looked a lot better than my digital art did when I first started doing any digital stuff because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I had to learn how to use the tool properly to make it look good. I still enjoy my pencil sketches. I still think they're quite good most of the time. But
if you look at the armor work on the original sketched one, the rough pencil one, that looks way better than the fucking skirt that the digital thing did. Like,
oh, sure.
Yeah, it's like it looks more good, aesthetically well put.
Well, part of it has to do with like the rough pencil sketch has depth to it. Like you can see like there's hatching going on, there's like a little bit of shading spots, there's like a little bit of extra like lines where they're getting thicker and thinner to indicate like depth. Whereas this doesn't. Yeah. And that is something that will happen if you just like flat line something. Flat line, it's hard to make flat lines look really good unless you are a very, very good like line artist.
This is just like, this looks like a Disney, like what a Disney like plastic like with those storybooks is, with those pages.
Oh, maybe.
That's what the one on the right looks like. I would prefer the left one.
It enabled me to do it more precisely, faster, with the ability to erase mistakes and also make later edits. It was a phenomenal tool that helped bring my art to the next level, and I never had considered it cheating, or that I was losing some type of artistic pursuit in not wanting to.
Lots of people did, though. when digital art first came out and began to like become more popularized, lots of people who were traditional artists at the time did view it that way. That was taking away from the process. That subsided, but the reason that subsided, and it's likely AI will not subside, is the actual process that exists.
Yeah.
Pursue physical hand-inked art. This is the exact same experience I had with colouring. I never particularly enjoyed working with physical mediums, painting, pencils, pastels.
What did you enjoy then about the art?
For mistakes, but that wasn't to say I never did it or that I couldn't find great satisfaction in making a hand-coloured
What the fuck
piece
did
of
you
art.
enjoy?
The thing that he enjoyed
You
was
just
the final
enjoyed
product.
the feeling of being a creator. That's all it was. Was it? But you weren't willing to put in the work for it and not go through the emotional process. Like, oh my god, I smudged my shit. Like,
I mean,
dude.
Yeah, line weight. The thing is there's like, it sounds to me like he didn't actually enjoy art or the process of making art, nor the process of creating. What he enjoyed was a sense of like either accomplishment or a sense of like superiority for having a thing that is just like, this is mine and I made it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is like getting into like weird god complex territory. Now, I'm not gonna go that far to say that he has that. I don't know about that. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. But I'm talking about like this sense of control and power when you have a complete, like, that's what he sounds like he's describing to me. Like, this is mine, I created
It's about
this.
control. That's what I said when he said like, oh, I got anxious when, you know, I had smudges. My ink went like smudged or my line smudged and blah 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 blah. I'm like, dude, that's part of the process. Why are you such a control freak? Like, that sounded like me with my handwriting.
He hates making art, but he doesn't want somebody else to do it because somebody else can't possibly create what's in his brain as good as he wants to make it, or what he wants it to be. But he's not willing to let go of any of that creative process, and so he rips people off.
Yep.
Art, but discovering digital colouring fixed all the problems that I was finding with hand colouring myself, and enabled me to produce much higher quality art than I was able to do without it. Technology enabled me to produce much higher quality artworks, cutting out much of the tedious processes, and
the tedious processes, you know, the art part.
Yeah. This is like you know when a company, they buy a piece of original art and then they like just copy paste it on and then sell it in the market on a canvas, like print it out digitally on canvas and just like frame it and just start like pushing it out. You know, that's what it sounds like. That's not art, my dude. That's not art at all. So that's what a company does, that like sells art like this, you know, as for profit. They don't want to be part of the creation process. They just want the profit. That's it.
I also don't know what
that's what it is.
He thinks is higher quality art.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Is it because it's now digital? Is it because it's colored now? Is it because you aesthetically find it better? I aesthetically found your sketch better, to be honest. But
yeah,
what value does that have? What is making something a higher quality to you? And without that definition, it's like without him being like having any kind of like consistency around that, it's meaningless.
Yeah.
Enabled me to express my artistic vision faster, easier, to a higher level of quality. So as you can imagine, any technology that grants this same benefit, I am very, very interested in, hence my interest in AI art generators. Many people view this new technology as something that robs people of their artistic pursuit and potential. What I see is the exact opposite. Indeed, far from robbing artistic expression, when you approach it with intent, having a specific vision in your mind that you want to achieve, it can enable you to bring that vision into a level of reality, detail, and beauty than you might ever have been able to do without it. But when you combine other artistic talents and abilities that you cultivate in other mediums, that enables you to make the very best art with this technology. And I'm not kidding in this. I am an artist. I've developed a very keen eye for proportion and detail, and I have applied that in every artistic pursuit in whatever...
You cannot say that and put this fucking picture up. Where did it go?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Where did that go?
I've developed a very keen eye for proportion
The one
and
with the
detail.
waist like so tiny. That one. Yeah. What the fuck?
You can... The thing is like, you could have a style that's like this when this kind of proportioning is intentional. Right? I do not believe for a second that this proportioning was intentional. Look... You don't get to say that you've developed a keen eye for this and then show this. My dude, what are you thinking?
You might have like an eye for...
Sir, are you
detail,
blind?
like, in clothing. Yeah, you might have an eye for detail, like in clothing, like and stuff, like how should a texture look like and stuff in clothing. And in anatomy, no, sir,
Yeah.
you don't.
And I have applied that in every artistic pursuit in whatever medium I'm using. There are many people who use AI art who have seen my images.
This is how Shad sees himself. Shad's actually got dysphoria. This is what he looks in the mirror and this is what he sees.
Yeah. I'm a hunker.
That I've made with this technology, and have literally asked, how on
my
earth do I produce these
I've
results?
made-
They see a difference in the quality that I'm able to achieve versus the quality that they have been able to achieve. And the answer is, I'm applying every single talent I have developed in multiple mediums in my pursuit and love of art to this medium as well.
What talent did you
art
develop in
generators
AI,
are
dude?
not a replacement of...
What
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 love
talent
of
did
art?
you develop in AI? Like, nani?
He literally described that he hates everything about art. What love
Yeah.
of art?
Yeah, and what talent does AI have to develop or to like master?
Why does this look like Scott Clifton?
And look at the hammer; it looks so unrealistic.
Well, I mean, it
looks-
just it's not that it
the
doesn't. It looks
texture.
unrealistic. It just looks like it doesn't belong in this photo.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, you got it right.
artists.
You
In actual
said
fact, it can
better.
be one of the most profound and incredible tools for artists. Artists will simply be able to make the very best AI art. But when that is done,
Why?
it's
They
actually
don't
not
want to.
AI art. The AI art generator
Well, they
is
can
not
if
doing all
it's
the
their
work.
own
Far,
art.
far from it. When I make my AI art, I am in full control with a specific vision in my mind that I'm working towards. And as
No, you're not.
Just because you're in control.
No, he's not. Specifically because
No.
because he's trapped in a box. He's trapped in the machine learning box. The machine learning cannot go outside the box.
Yeah.
You can't control what it's pulling out. You can pick and choose what you want. You do not have that kind of control like if you want to compare everything to art. Like a painter does when they choose to when they're mixing their color palettes. So if I add this much red or I add this much purple and this much this, and it's just like yeah, I caught that. He's making a dumb point. I'm just gonna let him have his dumb point.
AI is not a tool. Let me just say one. It's just it's something to replicate. It might be a tool, but it's something replicating something. It's just not creating anything new. I'm sorry.
Machine learning is a thing that can be utilized in some fields.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in full control and then has to generate multiple pictures to find ones that he wants, and then he can like Frankenstein them together to get what he wants. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck my
I've seen him do AI art before, specifically in the video with Jazza, which I did go over. I've gone over a couple AI stuff, so you feel free to look through the log, but yeah.
As a result, this isn't made by just the AI, it's made by me using the tool of AI to achieve the specific vision that I have in my mind. This is AI-assisted art, just like Photoshop is digitally assisted art, although it includes many AI
No, it's not!
processes that
Photoshop
enables
is not
people to
art! You
cut.
fucking baka! Photoshop is not art! Who the
Photoshop is a
fuck told you
program.
that?
Yeah, it's
Photoshop is a program that you can utilize to manipulate pictures. However, it then got, like, people, as it developed, people made brushes that you can then utilize, and then you can use it as a digital canvas. Those are different things. I personally don't use Photoshop because, 1, I don't want to pay for it because I'm cheap, and 2, because I'm poor because I'm an artist, and 3, because Krita is great, and I love Krita.
Oh god, this guy is so delusional.
Photoshop the art form. Right? Right? When was Photoshop a... okay.
Corners, make shortcuts, achieve goals much easier and quicker that many people don't want to acknowledge that they are using in their own digital
just
art,
want to go
but
hard and
criticizing the
fast,
exact
that's
same
all.
type
You're
of
lazy
use and
ass.
methodology that is actually present in AI art generation. Therefore,
He's mad that people use Photoshop and can use the undo tool for their brushes.
You see what comes up next. Like, I'm going to, like, scream.
to prove that great amounts of artistry can absolutely be applied to AI art generation to achieve far greater results than what people are able to achieve without artistic talent and technical knowledge in the program itself, I'm going to take you through step by step showing the entire process of the creation of one of my AI assisted art pieces, explaining every single step also to help other people improve their art and ability to work with this new technology. So
I'd be less interested in the steps you took, and I'd be more interested in you explaining your decision making. That would be a little bit more valuable to me as an artist.
To demonstrate this process, we are going to be making an image of one of my favorite fictional characters, Supergirl. I had a big crush on Supergirl growing up and have a lot of nostalgic connection for this character, and what I love to do is to depict my wife as Supergirl because that's who she is. She is my Supergirl. She's the most beautiful creature in the world to me, and so I love making art of my wife. She is my muse, and I particularly love depicting her in the way that I see her. People don't.
This is
So
super
did he just take
weird
a
after
photo
watching...
like of his wife and just fed it into the AI art and then just like superimposed it on something?
Basically.
Please tell me that's. Oh no! Oh my god! That's even
I
worse.
really don't like how weird all of this sounds after watching him interact with her on, or listening to him interact with her on stream for the Barbie movie.
Yeah, nah.
See what I see when I look at my wife. When I look at my wife, I see the most beautiful creature
Maybe
in
that's
the
what
world.
you want to
I
see, and
see
she's
my
not.
Supergirl. The first step is to choose.
There's something where there is such a thing as, like, you can be in love and have starry eyes and see all the best things in somebody, and that's great. There is, like, toxic imposition, though, and toxic projection, and, you know, we're not here to talk about your relationship with your wife, dude. Please.
Use the AI image generator. There are multiple ones out there, but I use the local installation of Stable Diffusion in the automatic 1111 interface. The reason why Stable Diffusion is the best is that it enables you to use multiple extensions and add-ons, giving you far more freedom and control, enabling you to achieve the artistic vision you have in your mind. It goes far beyond just trying to describe what you want in a prompt, because the very nature of AI art generators are infinite, and you don't want infinite outputs, you want a specific result. And as soon as you are working towards a specific result, it is quite...
It's not infinite, it's stuck in a box. The AI cannot develop anything that is not within whatever's been input into it, because it is not true AI, it is machine learning. That difference matters. People like to pretend that there's, like, whatever.
So, if you can see, he's typing shit. That's not creating anything. You're just typing, you're just giving it parameters to create something. That's it. That's not art. Dude. No.
You're just narrowing the grab bag of random. That's what you're doing. Oh, by the way, a grab bag of other people's stuff at random. Sorry, let's be specific here.
quite impossible to get that out of a prompt and a click. It's going to take far more processes to achieve what you want and to make a flawless final image. There are many tutorials in how...
You're not talking about processes, he's talking about drafts. It's going to take multiple drafts to get what you want, which is fine. That's a regular... That's
but
like
you're not creating those drafts. You're
Right,
not even
exactly.
creating those drafts. Your AI is creating those drafts. That's not you. Stop taking like... And also, even the AI, it's copying from other artists. So stop stealing other people's work and calling it your own, buddy. Stop.
This is my favorite thing about AI art is eventually the AI art is like the AI art program is going to start when it scrapes for images on the internet. It's going to be scraping AI art, and the art is going to get worse and worse and worse, and it just becomes a circle of sludge because the amount of AI art that is in the AI art generator that it's scraping from is not good. Like, it's not like the anatomy is wrong, the shading is wrong, but so it's going to start recognizing these things as what you're looking for. And as soon as it starts doing that, it's the same problem with ChatGPT. If you are not very, very careful about what you put into the program, it will devolve because it's just spitting out the same thing over and over and over again, and then it's scraping off of the bad information that it just put out and putting that bad information back in. Anyway.
How to install Stable Diffusion, and once it's installed, it actually runs through your web browser. You're not going to a separate website,
Okay.
it's literally
Not through
running
your
locally
but your
on your
web browser.
computer. People assume that once you have Stable Diffusion installed, all you need to do is copy someone else's prompt and start spitting out incredible results.
That's
This
what it's
is
doing, dude.
very far from the truth. Stable Diffusion comes with a base model, which is a set of training parameters that kind of encompasses the brain of the image generator. There are hundreds going on thousands of different AI image generating models made by the community at large, and experimenting and finding the best models to achieve the vision that you want is actually a very important part of this process. I've worked with many different models, finding out their strengths and weaknesses, and as a result, I know which model will better help serve.
Why is this all weeb shit?
I don't know.
Why is all the art that's being shown all like a bunch of weeb shit?
And still, he has done nothing himself. He's done nothing himself. Nothing. It's the AI doing it for him. Like,
Of
dude,
me
what are you
in
trying
what
to
I
tell us?
want to achieve. And to reach the quality that I'm able to achieve, I actually do something that not everyone does with these AI image generators. I use multiple models for the same image, which I will demonstrate a little later. And so to achieve this end result, I've needed to train a model based on my wife's face.
Do you think that, like, it's really, like, jarring or upsetting for his wife to, like, well, this is my, like, what my husband wants me to look like. This is the way my husband sees me. And that, like, that's not necessarily the way she sees herself, or is, like, she looks in the mirror and looks at the picture instead of sharing just a picture of her and talking about how lovely she is. He has to throw it through, like, so much so that it's in an AI. Did you do that, by the way, with her consent? Because you threw her face into all of these generators and anybody can make anything out of it, including porn, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, you're exposing your wife
thought
to
about that.
Did she, like, this is very incredibly unsafe with her information, especially for somebody who was so uncomfortable as they did not want to come on stream with you for the Barbie thing.
Mm-hmm. And also,
Or have you created a fake fucking AI version of her that everybody sees, and so now she's uncomfortable?
Oh god, no.
She doesn't want people to know what she actually looks like.
6 fingers on the right, left hand. What?
Oh, I ain't counting fingers. Hey, Sweet Pea, good to see you.
This has been a long and difficult process with many failed attempts. The final face models that I have of my wife are the result of hundreds of hours of work. And the process to achieve that is a
AI
video
did, not
in and of
you.
itself. At the moment,
You
I have
did
3
nothing.
very high quality, workable...
Can you
hours
go back?
and hours of...
Can you go back? That is so disturbing. Do you look at the body proportions?
I'm not acknowledging them.
That's almost like it's almost like anorexic. The ratio of the head to the shoulders.
Oh yeah, the head
waist,
is huge.
Bulbous. The head is bulbous. It's not against you, my girl. It's the fucking AI that does this bullshit. Like it blew your head out of proportion. It's not even in proportion with the body.
Unrealistic human body expectations for women. I'm kidding.
Oh my
In and of
god.
itself.
That's disturbing.
At the moment, I have 3 very high quality, workable, usable face models based on my wife that can each achieve a different type of artistic output. And I often use all 3 of them in conjunction
Nice
to
tits.
achieve the very best results. First, you need to refine the prompt, and finding the prompt that works best is a
Refine the
process
prompt.
that
Oh my
can
god,
take
that's such a hard
thousands of
word.
different.
They're all
Refine
just
the
a list
prompt.
of the prompts that each other are using, so that way you would get the same thing.
Yeah, so
So you don't even
and
have to
it's not
experiment
even,
with
is
the
it his?
prompt anymore. You can just copy the prompt. from
Copy
other
paste it.
People.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, it's such hard work. Fuck you.
tries. Just
Listen,
copy
he did hours and hours of copy pasting his wife's face into a fucking folder. All right, that's a lot of time he had
That
to
is
spend looking
so
at his.
creepy.
He had to spend a lot of time looking at his wife's face. All right, I don't know what to tell you.
a base prompt that you find online does not grant you the knowledge of what individual words are doing what to achieve the results, because tweaking the prompt is an important part in guiding the AI to get the results that you want. So, knowing how to weight certain prompts, the order of the prompt, the types of keywords are all very, very crucial. Experienced people with these programs know how to tweak the prompt as they generate images, guiding it by altering the prompts to get the results you want. But this is still only the first part of the process. There is still much more required, as well as additional things that can drastically
this is like
affect and
someone
change the results, which are called
reading
lauras.
someone else's
Lauras
paper
are
and
like
trying to
additions
paraphrase
to
it.
models that can be applied to any model.
Yeah, it's like somebody
This
in
is like
grade
someone-
6 being told they need to write a paper, and then they just look at the Britannica thing, and they have to write it into an essay, and they're just like,
Yeah. I'm gonna paraphrase it, or worse, I'm just gonna copy paste it. Voila, we have plagiarism.
Except that they're not even doing
Tweak
it
the
themselves. They
words.
got ChatGPT to do it for them.
Oh my god.
That have been trained to push the results in a certain direction. And most people who first try Stable Diffusion have no idea what they are, or that there are even different models to use, or the importance of keywords, order, weighting in prompts, and figuring
I
out
still
all of
don't
this is
understand the
actually
importance of
technical
keywords if you're
knowledge,
not drawing
skill
those
in
keywords.
using this technology. Even when the technology improves with updates, you need to learn how to use those updates. What is it doing? Oftentimes new extensions need to actually be looked for, found, added to Stable Diffusion, and you then need to learn how to use them. Getting better.
Yeah, guys, he had to go
It's
looking
like,
for another
oh.
program and adding. This is all part of the hours and hours of work that he spent making this function.
Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Oh, I need a round nose. No, I need a button nose. No, I need a what? I need a thumbstack nose. Like no, I need a witch nose. What?
No,
That's
that kind
not
of witch
work.
nose. More hooked.
Yeah. Hooked, pointy, bulbous, mushroom.
Better at using these tools and taking advantage of how this technology gets better is a
Oh
crucial
my
part in making
God.
the best quality art with this technology. So the prompt that we're using here is raw photo, full body image of a beautiful sci-fi supergirl flying in the sky and wearing a long
Oh
red
my
pleated skirt and red cape and red boots.
He actually wrote it. He had to write in Supergirl.
That is so much work. Oh my god. He had to type in instructions. If he was like programming something, like, creating like, what like beginners do with their C++ programming, they create a helicopter going across the screen. If he had done that, I would have been impressed. This is like a kindergarten person, like, just like writing a word and saying, look, teacher, I did well. And the teacher was like, yeah, this is beautiful. You get a star.
Black Spider makes a good point and says he's describing learning the language of the generator. That's not artistic skill. I feel like you're cheating if you just type, I feel like
Plagiarism.
if you're just typing in Supergirl and the generator pops out Supergirl, like I don't know, like, do you really need the rest of all this? I mean, presumably you do, otherwise it puts out garbage. But then how good is the AI then? Because if it can't
Why not
recognize the character Supergirl, then it's
why
what?
not just like why not just get like a
What?
Supergirl's like picture, you know, cut paste your wife's head upon it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the same thing. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. So much work. Oh my god. No
Oops.
wonder he
Starting
thinks
with
that
a full
Photoshop is
descriptive
like
line of the image gives far more
Yeah.
weight and guidance to the prompt. This doesn't work with all models though. You have to know the best prompts that work with different models. Then I have the line trigger word that generates my wife's face. This trigger word will literally achieve
Even the
nothing in models
original
that are not
input
trained
is
off
not
of my
like
wife's
original, like,
face.
it's just
And so
wife's
for the
face.
majority of these first generations,
Did you
this is
sketch
doing
your
nothing.
wife's face?
Then I
No.
start
He didn't even like sketch his wife's face.
No,
he just took his wife's picture and put it in.
Well, he made a thing that supposedly is like a generator that explicitly generates versions of his wife's face based on the prompt, which is like,
so what's the prompt?
admittedly, that's a well, he's written that in. Like, admittedly, that's a lot of work, but it's literally blanked it out.
Yeah.
Blank
And also
person,
like
right?
yeah, Smitty,
Her
just get a
name,
Supergirl
I
costume
assume.
for your wife, lol. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
right.
get a Supergirl. Like, it's like even the original input is not original. You know what I mean? The whatever reference for his wife's face he's using will be a picture of his wife. Not even a sketch of his wife that he would have made. If it had been the sketch of his wife, then I might have given him some room. But
I mean,
here, he just snapped a
photography-
picture of his
photography
wife
is,
and
like,
just
a
like fed it to
legitimate-
the AI.
I mean, photography is a legitimate art form as well, but the thing is like you've got your stable diffusion, right? And your stable diffusion, you've tried to set it so that way it doesn't. It's operating off of your local stuff, so that your stuff is generally safe. But the problem is it's web scraping. Is there, how secure is this that your wife's
know.
photos that have who God knows what in them are actually safe when you're inputting them into this program? I don't know. That's like just a safety issue. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, like, if you want to be an artist that trains
same
your,
thing, like
gets a local AI that it trains explicitly off of your art and your art alone, I mean, I guess that's fine, but the amount of art you would have to produce to be able to train the AI on is massive. I mean, I guess if somebody wants to just take a bajillion pictures of themselves and only themselves in different positions, and then train an AI generator to explicitly recreate images of themselves and nothing else. Because that's the thing. It has to be and nothing else. Otherwise, it's corrupted, because now you don't know what's in it or where it's coming from. Right?
Yeah. And it's like, typing a bunch of words is not art, my dude. I'm glad he put this video out, because typing a bunch of words is not art, my guy.
Well, I mean, that's assuming
Even
that
the
he doesn't copy
animators-
and paste it most of the time.
Yeah, we saw that the bunch of like the descriptors he showed on the screen for different types of art styles. So where did those come from, my guy? Like, and also like even the animators, like people who like animate shit, they start from basics.
I hate to pull the sexist card. Raw photo, full body image of beautiful sci-fi Supergirl flying in the sky and wearing a long red plated skirt and red cape and red boots. Image of his wife, person smiling, young woman, Supergirl flying in the sky. Science fiction again, sci-fi again. golden blonde, long hair, female, girl,
Oh my
the
God.
number 1 girl, skinny girl, slim, wide hips, muscular superhero, metallic blue clothes, long red
Oh my
pleated skirt,
God.
metal top, skin tight, red and gold Superman S on chest, red cape, red boots, yellow belt, bare legs, sci-fi armor, perfect anatomy, full body, photorealistic, realistic
Perfect
skin
anatomy.
texture, detailed skin, soft features, soft lighting, masterpiece. When you, like, these prompts are not like, oh, I want right arm in this position with hand with this many fingers doing. Like, how does the AI know what Supergirl is? How does the AI know what sci-fi is? How does the AI know what
perfect body?
masterpiece is? Are you fucking serious?
What's perfect anatomy? Like, how does it know what golden means or blonde hair means, you know? Skinny girl, what does skinny girl mean? Slim, wide hips. Yeah, dude. Can you not dehumanize your wife further than this, please?
There's like another.
Don't dehumanize your wife. It's too like you've gone too far already. Let's just say.
The other prompt below it says canvas frame cartoon 3D, then it says disfigured, bad art, deformed, extra limbs, close up, black and white, weird colors, blurry, duplicate, morbid, mutilated, out of frame, extra fingers, mutated hands, poorly drawn face, mutation, deformed, ugly, blurry, bad anatomy, bad proportions, extra limbs, clone face, disfigured, out of frame, ugly, extra limbs, bad anatomy, gross proportions, malformed limbs, missing arms, missing legs, extra legs, mutated hands, fused fingers, too many fingers, long neck, Photoshop, video game, ugly, tilting, poorly drawn hands, poorly drawn feet, poorly drawn face, out of frame, mutation, mutated, extra limbs, extra legs, extra arms, disfigured, disformed, cross-eyed, body out of frame, blurry, bad art, bad anatomy, 3D render.
What the fuck does he mean by ugly?
Oh, well, here's the thing. He's gonna generate
by...
two different he's gonna generate two different things and compare them, right? And be like, well, if you don't know what to put in, you're gonna get different things. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The thing is that I'm disturbed by the way he's dehumanizing his wife.
I don't even care about that. That's like a whole other fucking thing. Like, we're not gonna be here and analyze his fucking shitty relationship with his fucking wife. Like, there's whatever, dude. It's weird, but we're not. Fuck it.
It's very weird. It's very weird. For me, it's like I don't know, like, and you know, with all the art he's producing, I don't know if does he have exclusive rights to that art he's producing, or
it's her
or the
face.
company that let me finish, please. I know it's her face, so it's not his art from the start, but the product is not his even. The company that has produced that program, that illustrator, owns whatever he produces. Now, based on that, like you said, we don't know where his wife's face might end up. You don't know where, if once his wife's face goes in the database of that program, and some moron on the other side of the planet is trying to generate porn using that same program, that his wife's face won't get plastered in that porn. This is so dangerous, dude. Stop! That's why I have a problem when parents post their toddlers' pictures online. I'm like, don't do that. You don't know where it will end up. Okay, you want to take pictures of yourself and put out? Fine, do that. It's fine. You're an adult. You're making a decision for yourself. Don't make that decision for your minor child. Don't do that.
No, the internet's just not a place for kids.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. God, like it's like
the thing that I'm on right now. There's lots of safety issues. The thing that I'm on right now is how repetitive both of those prompts are.
Yeah.
Why? Like, if you're going to sit here and you're going to explain that you need to understand how the program thinks, okay, great, explain it. Tell Elmo. Why do you need to put a prompt in multiple times? Why do you need to put it, do it this way or that way? Because the last time I heard him explain it, he couldn't. He did not explain it.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, well, that just makes it come out better. Why? Mister, you've got all the knowledge now, so I hope he explains.
Exactly. So that's what I meant when I said, even when you are writing a program using a programming language, you need to know how the programming language works in order to write a good program. And this is the same thing. He's using a program, he fucking doesn't know what language he's using and why he's using it. That's the major difference between a proper programmer and this dipshit who's just copying pasting shit that he found online.
Let's see if he tells Elmo.
With guiding keywords. These are all very important guiding words of elements that I want in the prompt, and some might confuse you a little, like armor and sci-fi armor, metal top. The type of Supergirl image I want is one that has a more sci-fi looking Supergirl outfit, with detailed gold accents on the top and belt.
That is not the confusing part, that is obvious. This is not as complicated as you're making it sound, dude.
No. The confusing part is, why are you putting in words like wide hips? Beautiful.
Oh no, that's not confusing. I know why he's doing that.
No, but he's not explaining that to us. He's just the word belt is also not even mentioned there, but he's talking about that. Where's the word belt mentioned in those prompts? Nowhere.
Listen,
he's just talking about bullshit.
I want to know why he's repeating things. That would be my take. Like, what, you're gonna explain it. Explain.
And boots, and these keywords, the exact type of thing that would heavily influence the output. And I've only figured out that they work this way through experimentation. My next prompts are now focused on the actual imagery, the artistic style. There are a couple of repeats there that adds additional weight, and some prompts I did learn just work well from other people who work with these programs, like DSLR. The last part of the prompt, I have two LoRa's working. One is a noise offset, which makes better lighting, and the other is a LoRa that adds mecha-type technology details. Both these LoRa's are available on Savitia, and the mecha one is particularly awesome when pushed to a further degree, can get some really cool sci-fi results. But I'm using it here just to weight the generation towards a more sci-fi looking outfit, specifically in the metal accent details of the image. So this is the way that I prompt, and the specific order of the different categories of prompts affects the output. And it actually results in an AI-generated artistic style.
Oh, God, no.
My AI-generated images have a particular look to them, and it's the result of the way that I prompt. And I prompt this way because it gives me the results that I want. This is not random. This has been achieved through trial and error experimentation. And yes, someone can just copy and paste this, but they're still not going to get the same result.
Of the randomness. That's what you're trying to do. Listen to someone who's done like data processing and digital, digital signal processing. All right, it's still random. You're just running a random program over a random program, hoping that the first set that came from the random program gets randomized again.
Then
and that's the stuff that randomized again.
Yeah, then you keep the stuff that you want, you do it again. You keep the stuff that you want, you do it again. Then you take all that stuff and you put it together. It's still a grab bag, and it's it's random in that it's not infinitely random though. It's random as in like whatever is in the box.
The data set is limited.
Right.
Yeah, whatever's in the box. The data set is limited. So it's it's called, I think so. It's called like stochastic randomization.
I don't know what's so different.
You have a set data.
But what's so different about his art, AI art, compared to other people's AI art?
Nothing. Also, if I may point on my guy, if I go back into the description, where you have said, "Oh, I'm adding some sort of like, I'm taking out noise and I'm adding a theme like a mecha and robot parts," you're typing them in. You're not drawing them in or drawing them out. You're not doing anything like that. You're just typing a program to do it for you. That is not art, you asshole. I would really like to interview his wife, really,
because next is my process. And the next stage in that process is choosing the specific model to generate the first image that is going to be the foundation of the final image, but you might be shocked at how different this first image is compared to how it will look to the final result. After experimenting with multiple different models, I do have to say, Rev Animated is one of the very, very best in terms of creative design. Fine details in clothing, lighting, composition. Rev Animated is incredible, but if you're only going to be used Rev Animated...
What's different between this and his? Like the soft lighting to the background? Like,
You're going to be limited by this model's limitations. It is not a realism model. It is made to make animated looking images. So we are going to be using the strengths of Rev Animated combined with the strengths of other models to achieve what we want. So I start generating a couple of images. And yes, some look good, but they don't have what I'm after. And then I generated this image, and at first I was ready to move on, but I paused because there was something.
He did not change the prompts between those generations. He just generated he clicked twice and generated like the first one, second one, and now he's on the third one. So he's not changing the prompt. He's just like randomizing under these parameters and then picking up the shitty ones.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying. It's like throwing a dice. It's throwing the same set of dice again and again. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're like, you have a limited number between like 1 and 6, but it will be between 1 and 6. Although it will be random every time. Yeah. And then you have
whether
probabilities,
you're throwing 2 dice,
right?
3 dices. Yeah, that depends. Yeah, that many.
Yeah, so like
permutation and combinations you will have.
If I pull up,
you bring up your D&D dice, please. Thank you.
if I have a D20, right? We know that the limit is between 1 and 20. Right, like it's not gonna it cannot. It's not possible for it to get like not a 20, right? Or like it's not gonna roll a 30, right? So if I roll this dice and I go, okay, got a 12, right?
Yeah.
You still end up with like, you could put in parameters and say like the number only counts if I roll an even number. And then see, okay, well, what are the numbers? It's like, okay, well, there's an 18, so the 18 counts. There's a 14, so the 14 counts. There's a 3, so that one doesn't count. And now you're randomizing, but you're limiting between 1 and 20. You're limiting to only even numbers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Sorry, hi, I'm back.
This image that I had to go back to, and this is where applying artistic talent is really important. You might not see what I see in this image, but I see potential for a brilliant pose and composition here. It's not actually there,
what I see is I'm being the
potential for it. This is hugely important, and it defines such a massive difference in someone who is able to apply an artistic eye to this process versus someone who doesn't have the experience.
Someone who has no idea how female breasts work. Someone who has no idea how female breasts work. Look at the breast. And that's where you need to have knowledge about how human anatomy looks on paper, you baka!
I mean, we can sit here and argue subjectively about whether or not Shad has any, like, actual artistic eye or in the first place. Because that's the thing is with an artistic eye. An artistic eye is something that you... This is more like a Dunning-Kruger artistic eye. You got kind of good at it, and then thought you knew what you were doing, and then you've gotten way too deep in over your head. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I appreciate that you have some experience, but an artistic eye is something that like develops over a very, very, very long period of time, with very, very, very many hours put into a lot of experimentation and practice and trial and error and like just the whole experience with the whole process. So like yesterday I did a stream and I was messing around painting this Typhlosion, and I was staring at this picture and I was like, there's something wrong with what I painted. And it took me a minute. I was sitting there, I was just like, what am I doing wrong? This is not right. Did it look good? Yeah, it looked fine, but it wasn't right, and I could not figure out what it was until I like painted over the whole thing and was like, it's the 3D physicality. I had the Typhlosion's mane doing this, but he was on this angle, which meant that it was going up and over when it needed to be more like a cape around and then up and out. So like it was going above all equally all the way across, so it threw off the entire perspective of the whole painting. But that's something that you learn how to recognize, and it's something that it took me time to be like, what is wrong with what I'm looking at? But that's not even to say that I have a good artistic eye. It's just to say that this is part of the process and part of learning.
Which he doesn't want to do. Because he's a pussy.
Sure, yeah.
It's limited with the images that they're able to generate. And so with this image, I now have a vision of what I can achieve with it. But to achieve that,
are you going
that's
to draw
going to
that thing or
require
not?
me editing the image into a far stronger guide to what I want the final image to be. And so to do that, we're going to bring it into Photoshop, but first, we want a more detailed version of this same image. And so we're going to repeat the seed with the exact same prompt, which means we're going to generate the exact same image, but we're going to do the high-res fix, which is going to upscale it using the same seed input, which means the additional detail it's going to add is not going to warp the image away from what we want. So it generates the exact same image, and then you're going to notice that it gets blurry once again.
He locked the image that he had so the prompts aren't gonna fuck with it as he makes adjustments on the scales. That's what he's done. So it's not generating a new image, it's just adjusting the image based on these prompts. So he's just narrowed it further. So now instead of saying the D20 can only be even numbers, he's saying it can only be even numbers and it can only generate single digit numbers.
Yep. It's like he's
just narrowing the random, yeah.
He lifted a pinky finger or a finger to like type in shit, but he has not drawn anything. Nothing. He's just taken other
This is
people's
what the
work,
high-res
that's it.
fix is doing. It adds more noise to the image and then adds greater detail, upscaling it into a larger size. Now that we have this image in Photoshop, I'm going to recompose many of its elements to the image that I want it to be. And I wonder if any of
I'm just gonna pause real quick, because I want to know... Air raid at Mania's house.
I'm being swatted!
Oh, shit! Okay. But he didn't explain what the prompts were. He's moved on. But he didn't explain, like, what the prompts were doing. He said it was really important that you understood what the prompts did and why you were putting there, but he didn't actually say, like, why he needed sci-fi here and then science fiction and then sci-fi here again. He didn't tell Elmo.
Yeah, he didn't say why he put in wide hips. Ugly.
I definitely don't want them to be ugly.
If you can actually see what I see in this image,
Whatever.
the potential. Take a good
As if ugly and beautiful aren't incredibly fucking subjective.
look at it. But in any case, I am going to show you. So I bring the image into Photoshop, and I see that there is a problem with the left shoulder. There is a bit of armor there that doesn't fit, so I'm going to copy the right shoulder over and place it over the left one, just so when I regenerate this image, it's not going to have a silver kind of mark there. It's going to register that no, this is supposed to be blue, and it's going to regenerate the image with the correct shoulder. The right hand has potential, but the left hand is a mess, so we're simply going to take the right hand and copy it over to the left one. This doesn't mean that I want the hands to look exactly the same, it just means that the AI is going to have a much stronger guide to make a far more realistic looking hand when we regenerate this image. Now we come to one of the more important parts of this recomposition of the image to give a much stronger guide to what I want to achieve, and it's in the cape. There is something really cool here in the cape that has great potential. You might not be able to see it, but you will see it as I alter the image. And part of me altering the cape, I'm also going to be changing the background. I want an image of Supergirl flying through the air, and this actually has a brilliant beginning for a background sky, but the issue is there are buildings in the way, so we're going to edit out the buildings. This has also given the side cape of Supergirl here a much cooler kind of flaring out silhouette, but that silhouette can be improved once we finish off changing the background to a sky. And we're going to be taking out the flaring kind of side of this cape and copying it to the other side, which is going to give a much more striking silhouette to this Supergirl image. Then we're going to crop and center the image so that silhouette is
Bless his little
Okay,
heart.
I'm back. I figured out what's
You
going
getting
on.
swatted? You good to go?
They
They
nah, they just
abruptly knock
knocked.
on your door.
Yeah, they just knocked on my door and I told them to fuck off. So apparently there's an emergency in the area, so to
Yeah.
let the fire brigade know they've put on those sirens. So that's what's happening.
So
That's
what
okay.
he did was he took it into Photoshop and got rid of the buildings, and then copy and pasted the hand and the cape to the other side, and the shoulder, so it didn't have a weird piece of armor there that he didn't want. And then he's going to put this back into the generator, relock this image that he didn't make, and kind of, I guess he tweaked it. I'll give him that much.
Oh wow, that's wonderful.
But he's
That's
talking
not
about
art.
he's talking about silhouettes now, and if you're gonna talk about silhouettes, I would recommend blacking it out, because that's how, like, if you want to learn how to do good silhouette work, don't have any detail showing. You take this and you fill the whole thing in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I could pull up something and grab this and show you guys, but I feel like maybe we save that for another day and let him keep going.
even
This
more
is something,
striking,
yes.
and we have the base foundation image of the one that I want to achieve. The vision I have in my mind has now been composed by
vision.
hand in Photoshop. This is not the
No.
AI doing this. This is me making a
No, you didn't compose it though. The AI did everything, and you took some of the AI parts and shifted them around. You didn't compose
And-
this.
And even in Photoshop, you're not doing anything. It's not even bare minimum. That's what you're
This
doing
is
in
like-
Photoshop. You're
this is
doing
less-
nothing.
This is less work than what I do to make thumbnails, and the work that I do to make thumbnails is like more like collages.
Yeah. This is not what. Yeah. That.
I'll
This
give him
is not art.
He did in fact pull it into Photoshop, and he did in fact copy and paste the hand from one side to the other, and he did in fact copy and paste the shoulder from one side to the other, and he did in fact erase the buildings. Though those are things that he did in
Copy
fact.
paste.
Yes.
Copy paste.
Yeah. Select copy paste, and then moved it over and stuck it in. It is something. I'll give him that much.
Nah, I'm not gonna
It
give him
is-
that either. That's not
It is photo manipulation. He did in fact manipulate the photo that AI put out for him.
That I'll take.
a hand composition
that is
based off an
manipulation.
AI generated image, making many significant
This
changes.
is not no. This is not a handmade composition. If it was a handmade composition,
Oh
you
no
would
no
be-
no no.
No. If this was a handmade composition, what you would be doing is you would be taking this, you would be using it as a thumbnail, put it in the corner of your digital canvas, and you would be redrawing using it as a reference. That would be a handmade composition utilizing an AI-generated image as a reference point.
Yeah, this is not. Stop trying
And
to
it's
be
not a
sneaky.
good. And this is the thing. AI is not a good reference because it's not reliable and it's not consistent.
Yep.
Like, one of the things that I did once is when I was painting Vex on Trinket, the elf girl riding the bear.
Yeah.
I took a picture of a bear running, and I took a picture of a lady riding a horse, and I cut the horse out and stuck the lady onto the bear, and I used that as a reference point for my painting. I did that.
Yeah, that was a
thing.
reference. Yeah,
But
that
I
was a
didn't.
reference
Well,
point.
I didn't go through and trace it. I could have taken the guidelines out of it and then just shrunk it down and then used the guidelines. I didn't do that. That's a thing that you can do. But but I also like took an image of someone riding a horse, and then I took an image of a bear running, and I mashed them. I didn't fucking AI generate lady riding bear. I was just like, because you're not gonna get a reliable bear. You're not gonna get a reliable lady. You're not gonna get reliable anything happening. You're gonna get this sex scene from Baldur's Gate if you want to talk about bear riding. Like it. This is not. You can do this. You could make a handmade fucking composition utilizing AI as a reference. I would not recommend doing that because you're going off of a faulty, crappy reference.
It's like using a bad reference. It's like using a Fox News article for your critical race theory definition.
Right, it's a bad source. It's like if you were to take fucking I want to draw the sexiest lady you ever seen, and the reference photo I used was Tinky Winky from the Teletubbies.
Hey, they're sexy, don't you dare.
It's just as random, right? Like it is.
To achieve a far greater composition that the AI never would have made on its own. I realized that there was one.
Yes, it would have. It would have absolutely done that.
If you had refined it more.
Right, it would just
put in better keywords, yeah.
One change that I forgot, and that's the kind of metal stockings that she has on her legs. No, I don't want that. So I'm going to paint over this with a basic skin texture, and notice that I'm adding simple shading to it. Yet even this simple shading does require a knowledge of basic shading principles. And so the previous experience I have in digital coloring...
You're copying the shading that was already there, though. You did the same thing. The shading was already there.
Yeah, you copy-pasted,
is being used to a very significant degree here. Without that, it would have been much, much harder for the AI to redo the legs in a better, more realistic look, and to have had removed those metal kind of stockings.
Why aren't you doing it
So
yourself?
I just want you to take a look at the before and after of this image. All these edits were done by hand, or, digital hand. You know what I mean. And already there has been significant human input to get the results that we want. And to say the final image that we're going to get out of this foundation was just made by the AI.
His input, his actual input, proper brush to image, was copying the shading that the AI had put in and using that to cover up the higher up leg guard. That's what he did.
Yeah. And if you still look, the leg proportions are stupid. The left leg is still weird as, and the right leg is, that's also weird.
AI is completely false in disingenuous, but this is only
because he copied the metallic shading onto the legs. The legs are now have a metallic look to them. By the way, that's why it looks like that. It's because he copied the shading that is going off of a metallic look. So, whatever.
The beginning. There's a lot more involved to get the final results. We have a great composition
lot more
with
involved, but that's
lighting, a good pose, and it's been the combination of using the strengths of the Rev animated model and my own artistic eye and digital illustration ability to achieve it. And so now I want
digital illustration ability? Are you serious? How much do you have to blow smoke up your own fucking ass to wrongly copy and paste metallic shading, like copy the fucking lighting off of metal and use it for skin?
Yeah. And let's go with one thing. It doesn't look like your wife, dude. So I don't know who you're imagining as a Supergirl here. This is not your wife. All the buzz was right. Yeah, I'm quite sure.
Word salad. Yeah.
It's a word salad. God.
I use big words, therefore what I did was impressive. Listen to the fancy music I put in behind.
To make this image
How you know it's
more
epic.
realistic. And to do that, we need a different checkpoint model. We're going to switch from the Rev animated model to the realistic visions model. So now we take
from
this
another
foundation,
one
this
AI to another
edited version,
AI,
and
one
put it
AI,
into
okay.
the image to image function of Stable Diffusion. The generations now are going to be based off of this foundational image using the realistic visions model. And the result is actually
This foundational image that I got by making a limited grab bag of other people's work. Okay.
actually pretty darn cool already. Many people might be happy with
It
this
might be
result,
cool, but it
especially if
ain't
they don't
art.
have the artistic eye to see all the errors in it or the ability to fix those errors. We're going to adjust some
You
of the
didn't
settings
fix all
here.
the errors, dude. The legs are still wonky as fuck.
Listen, guys, AI art looks great if you don't have an artistic eye and don't know anything about art.
The legs are wonky as shit.
What a ham this man is. My goodness.
Ham?
Knowing how the adjustment is going to affect the output is also very important, the denoising strength and the CFG scale. I want to give the
What are
AI a
those?
little more freedom in altering it, but not
What
too
are
much.
they? What do they do? Why do you use this? Is supposed to be a tutorial. How do I know what things I need to put in the prompt?
This is just self jerking. That's what it is.
I could.
Be smart.
And so I'm going to regenerate the image now, and what I've done right here, knowing how to work the settings to get the results you want, is something that only comes with experience and practice. It is literally a skill that you develop using this new tool. And the final result is better. Specifically, look at
I have a hard time agreeing with that, only because this is knowing really well how a character slider changes a model at the beginning of a video game. You know what I mean? So if I want if I play a particular game over and over and over again and I know the body type I want, I'm going to be very quick about knowing where the slider needs to be to get the result that I want for that character.
It's
right? And that's what he's doing. So all right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a hungry kid. I'm a growing kid. I need my food. It is.
how much better their hands are because I was able to give the AI
Oh
a
my
little more
God.
freedom to push it towards the results that
Oh,
I
I
want.
give AI.
But it also changed the feet a little bit, and I like the feet of the original base image a little better. And so I'm going to generate a new image with less freedom to get the feet I want. And so what I'm doing here is I'm generating for different results at different parts of the image. Different settings sometimes
You're
gives enough
generating,
freedom
not
to get a better
creating.
result,
You're
say
not
on the
drawing.
Superman S, but lower settings will get a better result for the feet. And so then, what am I supposed to do if I like one thing from one image and elements of another one? Well, we're going to combine them. And we do that in Photoshop. And so I have 3 base images that I'm going to work with, and I'm going to
He's now going to Frankenstein the Photoshop images together, like I said I did with somebody riding a horse and somebody and a bear running, and I put the person on the bear, and so he's just gonna cut out me making my reference. Wasn't the art part. That was just me getting a decent understanding of what the hell I was trying to make, because I don't often draw people riding animals, let alone riding a bear. So I was like, oh well, I guess I need a reference for this, because references are great. Use references in your art. But I didn't I didn't take my reference and then post that and went, all done.
Or I didn't make you didn't take a reference generated by a stupid AI art which didn't have correct input in it. You know what I mean? You took the reference from the real life examples or something like that. That's what it was. And yeah, I'm really interested in the process of look at the fucking legs. They're still weird. So I don't know what the fuck is your artistic eye doing here, or you have a kink or something for wobbly legs. Yeah, I'm going to be very interested in seeing what he does with the feet part, because he's irked by the feet for some reason.
Yeah,
He's
that's fine.
grab
Yeah, he's got a
some of
kink
the
for
best
foot.
elements of each. It's done the foot really, really well in this image, but only the left foot. So I'm going to grab that, and then
Yeah, I
I'm going
wonder
to
why.
change that into a right foot
Oh my
and add
god.
it to the image. Again, the ability
Oh
to
my
do this
God.
requires knowledge of anatomy and proportion. Because I know how to draw feet, I also know how to change and warp this one.
You don't
so it
have
will
knowledge
match
of
a right
anatomy and
foot.
proportion.
Because I know
Yeah,
how
then
to
draw
draw
them.
feet, then draw them.
Draw them. And number one, your anatomy is still wrong. The legs are still wrong, and your final product of the boot on the left on her left foot is also wrong. You got everything wrong. That's not a correct anatomy, and that's what happens when you don't practice and don't learn
Guys,
from real.
Supergirl's
Wh-
just got two
why
left
is it?
feet. It's fine.
There was a reason. There was a reason why, when initially people started learning art in college, they would have people as reference points, people sitting in front of them, and they would try and sketch
drawing.
them.
Figure drawing, yeah.
That's what they were doing.
It's an
Your
exercise.
wife being amused. Yeah, by your wife being amused doesn't mean that you sat down and hand drew her while she sat in front of you. No, you just clicked a picture of
He
her
got
and dumped it in a program.
You understand that he got to remove his wife being there for the entire process, right?
Yeah. And if you look at the final image, that's not what his wife looks like at all. That's not his wife. That might be his waifu, but not his wife.
Listen, he loves his wife so much that he had to spend a lot of time making a robot version of her.
Yeah, not even a robot version, like a new version of her. Like, this is how you should look
just
like my wife.
like a visual representation rather than, the real one.
Yeah, it's a
In the image, literally photo bashing from the assets I've been able to create from the AI image generator. There are some unnecessary parts, additions on the skirt that shouldn't be there, so we're going to remove that as well. This is simply having an eye for proportion and consistency in the image.
No, it's not. It's being able to look at the obvious for what everybody would know from knowing what a skirt looks like, dude. You noticing that piece of skirt was sticking out is not an artistic eye. That's just being like, oh, there's a piece of skirt sticking out. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Listen, at least Rob Liefeld drew and owned his shitty art.
The skirt is also too short for my liking as well, so we're going to increase the length, and it doesn't need to be flawless in its quality. It's going to mess up the consistent lines of the pleats of the skirt, but that actually doesn't matter, because what we need is to give the AI a guide so it knows what to...
He's using the wand to select, by the way, which I just find is like a little cherry on top.
Fix. That's what we're doing here. And what we want to fix is specifically the length of the skirt. It will be able to fix the pleats on its own if we give it enough freedom, specifically in the denoising strength. There's another error here on the image that you need to have a keener eye to see. Do you see on the right part of the cape how the sky is brighter above the cape but darker underneath? That gives a kind of unnatural transition to the cloud, so we're just going to brighten it a little underneath the cape so it looks more natural.
No, it's not an unnatural... This is why I know you don't know about composition. It's because that lighting doesn't make sense. Not because the clouds don't make any sense, it's because it doesn't make sense compositionally. It doesn't make sense compositionally because it's distracting from the photo. It's drawing your eye to the right, or the top right corner. And it's doing that because it is contrasting. Because you have darker colors everywhere else from here to here, and you have one section. Skies can look like that, but that's why photography has to understand contrast and composition. When you just take a photo, you need to understand your subject matter, what you're looking at, where you want to draw the eye, and then what is behind it to make sure whatever is behind the center of your photo is not going to distract or contrast in a way that you don't want it to. This is why I know when Shad says he has a keen eye and understands art and composition. What he just described, he called it unnatural to the sky. The sky looks like that shit all the time. It's not unnatural, it's poor composition.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just generate the character and then generate the background separately? By the way, is there a reason for that?
The way the cape connects to the top is also a little inconsistent, and I would actually like kind of metal toggles or something that's going to attach the cape to the outfit. So we're going to add 2 gold lines added by gold accents on the outfit. This means removing certain lines that we don't want on the image and adding new lines that we want the AI to latch onto and fix. We're also going to readjust the color so the AI again has a stronger guide to color the image how we want. And here is the before and after of the image with the edits that we have made in Photoshop. There is another significant element that we're going to do here that's going to help improve the quality of this image dramatically. So much so that my graphics card doesn't actually have the power to do it. We want the image to be a higher resolution, which is going to increase the details to a large degree. But if my computer isn't strong enough to handle such a high resolution image, how are we going to continue improving the image? Well, the key is using the in-painting feature of Stable Diffusion. The resolution that we're going to increase the image to is 2000 pixels high on its length. So whatever the width is, it's going to adjust.
I regularly work in 5,000 by 5,000. I don't do 6,000 by 6,000 because it makes streaming the art a little bit.
Yeah. That's it.
Automatically, but the height of the image is now 2000 pixels, and we're going to bring that into Stable Diffusion. By using the in-painting feature, the image generator doesn't need to generate a 2000 pixel high image and overtax my computer. It's only going to generate the section of image that I'm highlighting, which is actually closer to around 700 pixels, not 2000. But it also means that section of image is a higher resolution than what it was.
So this AI is stupid. This AI is so...
It's 2,000 up and down, not a total of 2,000. 2,000 this way, and then whatever number this way for a total of geometry. And so when I find it a little bit silly to compare, well, it's only 700 instead of 2,000. 700 of 2,000 is a lot, but that's a big percent. That's like what, 40 or 37%? It's slightly below 50%. But now you're going to fuck with it by having really high resolution in one spot and not in another?
Why would you do that? That's so weird.
I mean, we'll see how it comes out, I guess.
This is actually a more advanced technique that not many people know of who do Stable Diffusion image generation. By increasing the resolution of the image and then using in-paint to generate smaller sections of that image. One, of course, you're able to produce a much higher resolution image from the generation phase, but this also enables you to control and get much higher details, especially smaller details that Stable Diffusion can't usually define or latch onto when the image resolution is too low. This can be important with—
But you're not— what detail? Right. You're not— oh, thank you, 35. Oh, so close. Off the top of my head, that is not bad for me.
Yeah.
But what details are you asking it to add? The details are arbitrary. You're just saying more detail. I thought he said this was all about control.
Yeah,
what are you asking for?
With small elements of the picture like buckles or buttons or symbols, eyes and more. And so we're going to regenerate that section of image using the image-to-image feature, so it's using the input image as its base and foundation to be the primary guide for the results. And sometimes the results are very subtle and different, but as I compare them, I can see that the S works better in one and that the belt looks better in another. And so we're going to bring that image back into Photoshop and we're going to make certain corrections. The shade transition on the bust is too jarring and it makes them look pointed, and so we're going to smooth those out.
Oh, now
we're going to remove certain lines that we don't want on the outfit, and we're going to make the toggles that are connecting the cape consistent on each side, removing certain artifacts and elements on the—
should I explain? So, metal on outfits. Is this supposed to be metal? Or is this supposed to be fabric that is gold colored?
Yeah, what is it?
What is it supposed to be? Because depending on the type of fabric or the type of metal, or depending on how it is made, it may have that point. That it might be the case. So it's not an inherent. It just doesn't do that, right? It is depending on what you want. Now, the shading, it depends on how dynamic you want. Like how you're saying it's jarring, but that entirely depends on what you're trying to compose in the first place. Sharp shadows and like a sharp contrast between like here and here is totally fine, depending on what it is you're trying to create. But you haven't given us what you're trying to create because I don't think you know. I honestly think you have a general idea of what you kind of want in your head, and you're fucking with this until you get something that you're satisfied with.
And if you look, the cape on the left-hand side looks like more like a cloth, and on the right-hand side, it looks more like plastic.
Rubber.
Because of the shiny surface. Which is it, Chad? This is still inconsistent. It's not consistent at all. And the symbol on her chest, is it metallic or is it, like you said, is it a cloth? Because metallic will maybe shine, or is it like a metallic cloth or something like that? That's what you're going to say. Then the whole outfit should be like that.
I mean, you could have like a rubber on top of your outfit. There are some, you can buy t-shirts that have like kind of that ironed on sort of stuff. So you could have something like that. That's fine. But the thing is like, what are you doing? I don't think that, this is not coming off to me like you know what you want and what you're trying to create.
And her left arm is still weird from her shoulder joint.
The image that don't make
He's
sense,
got like another 10
fixing
minutes.
up
We'll
the
see how he
neckline.
is.
We're going to bring that image back into Stable Diffusion image to image, and we're going to lower the settings so it doesn't alter it as much. But using as a guideline for the new image, we're going to generate different results. And it's already looking much better with higher detail. And there are still many additional things that we need to fix. The next stage is fixing the skirt. And so we're going to bring that into in-painting, select the skirt, and adjust the settings to generate a much better, more consistent result. But it's not perfect. There are still edits and fixes that we need to make in Photoshop. So I bring it back into Photoshop and make those fixes. Some of the gold lines have become washed out, so we're going to do.
He's willing to go through all this process to modify this image, but he doesn't like if his pictures get smudges or ink spills out. The hypocrisy is astounding.
I don't think it's
You're a lazy asshole. Just admit that, dude.
Dissonance.
I know I'm lazy at this stage of my life. I'm lazy enough that I can't do proper art. I know that.
She's also got two different gauntlets.
Yeah.
Like, their design on the gauntlets are different.
You got put off by smudges and ink getting out of, like, the lines. And you're going to this length to modify a photo generated by an AI.
Well, because he can't make it on his own. He can only only adjust what's already there. He doesn't know how. Because he's not practiced enough to do so.
Yeah, but he still wants to be called an artist, so he's going to try and bullshit as much as he can.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think people put like this fancy, like they put art on a pedestal and they think like being art is something like, oh, it's so special and you have to be so good and you have to do this and you have to do that. It's like, no, all you have to do is art. If you want to be an artist, just do art. Like that's the only requirement for art is do art.
Yep.
This is certainly a process. I'll give you that much. It is a thing that you're putting a lot of effort and work into. You're still stealing other people's shit to do it, but, you know, you are certainly doing a thing.
Another color kind of correction and guideline in the image, putting that on a new layer and adjusting the layer settings so it blends nicer and gives a better guide for the AI. There's also an error.
I don't know why, if he wanted a specific guide, why didn't he just draw his own guide? Because he wanted to skip all those steps.
Yeah, because he's a lazy ass, that's why.
On the seam line of the neck that we're going to fix here. And you might notice the tool that I'm using most of all is the stamp tool in Photoshop. Back into in-painting, we select the top.
Yes, you're using the stamp tool so that way you can recreate the thing instead of actually having to paint and draw anything. Because, like, you don't want, like...
And we have a better guide to generate the results that we want. I specifically want the top to look less like cloth, but a thicker type of material verging on armor, and so I adjust that in the prompts, giving greater weight to what I want, And look at how the results already look more armored or more metallic. And it's through
But you
experience
took-
that I now know.
You just put the pointy tits back in.
Yeah, he just did that, and I was just like,
He just
I
took
thought
the
you didn't
pointy
like that, or
titties
what
out.
wasn't. God.
If you want,
Please
like,
do
it's
not
almost like
hire
he's-
him for special effects.
It's almost
You're gonna make
it's
your
almost
boobies
as
look
if it's almost as if he's like he wants something differently and then is asking for the opposite. Right? Like he wants it to be metallic, but he wants it to be shaded and painted and colored like cloth. That's why it did that. He made the change and then the AI went right back into it, ignoring and removing his change because he asked it for something that doesn't do what he made. And then he was just like, oh, okay, I guess this is the way it is now. This is why people say that AI takes away from your creative process. AI just undid all the work you fucking did to make that change.
Yep. What was the point of all that work? And he got worried about the color going out of the lines and getting smudges.
Well, he doesn't. He's presenting this like he has like an image in his brain that he wants to create, but he doesn't know how to do that image. He doesn't know how to compose the image. He doesn't know what the image materials are and what it makes like, or what those things would look like, or how they interact, or how they reflect light. So all of this artistic eye that he's talking about is nonsense based on like him just going back and forth through this process.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right, let's keep
Know
going. We're
how
watching Shad.
adding weight to certain words in the prompt will affect the image. This is one of the reasons why I have far more control in producing the images that I want
No, you
over
don't.
a person who just copied and pasted a prompt and doesn't
You
actually
also
know
did
how.
that. You copy pasted everything. You fucking baka.
Okay, but he still hasn't explained why he's changing which prompts and what that's doing to the image. He still has not explained. Tell Elmo, this is supposed to be a tutorial. If this is supposed to be a tutorial, then you should be telling people why changing this thing to get this result matters and what it's doing between point A and point B. But the reason you don't know is because it is a grab bag of other people's work. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright. Okay. All right.
All those words
Okay.
in the prompt
All
is
right,
affecting
okay.
the finer results of the image generation, and therefore they don't know what words to emphasize or de-emphasize to add or remove to get
Great.
far more refined and specific
Then tell
results.
us.
It's knowing how to
How
make
do I
subtle
know?
differences like this, how to guide the AI to the image that you have in your mind that is so important that enables you to get more specific results. And it also proves
Okay, listen. If I do a tutorial about how to, like, let's take the ball shading, right? Like the classic, everybody knows you. There's a ball, and you shade the ball in, and if the light's coming from here, you put the light here, and you do this thing. You can go through and you can explain step by step, and it's just like you shade this in. This is the type of shading I'm doing for this. This is the movement that you do to get this, and then you push more or release more for the amount of pressure that you want. And you take this step, this step, this step, this step in this order, or you can do it in this order, whatever way you want to do it. Not what he's telling people. What he's telling people is like, you should change your prompts around to get different stuff. But he's not telling you which ones to change or why to change them or what to guarantee what result, because none of those things are consistent. So
yeah,
he
like for
doesn't-
example, light references. If you want the light to be certain way, this is what the prompts would look like. If you want your light references to be certain way, tell us exactly what you're trying to achieve here. You're not achieving anything. You're just throwing shit, hoping it will just stick.
Well, and so here's the thing, right? When you understand a tool and how to use it, you can explain it. If you can't
Nah, he doesn't.
explain it, you don't know it.
I had a
This
friend,
isn't a
like,
tutorial.
I had a friend in high school who was very good at, like, they had photographic memory, so they would just like absorb shit and just print it back on the paper, like write it back. But when the teacher would ask, like, what's the thought process behind this, they had no fucking clue. And maths especially.
Right.
Forget chemistry. So, yeah. The
I
same
don't
was
know
with
how
their
anybody is
English.
supposed to take. I don't know how anybody is supposed to take this as a tutorial and be like, okay, yeah, I can go make this now.
I got
the
it.
The best you could get from this is to say that, okay, well, now I understand that I can not just copy paste the prompts, I can change them, which I don't know why you wouldn't know that to begin with, and then just trial and erroring it until it works, which is even with his knowledge and expertise and his vision and his keen eyeballs, he's still just trial and erroring it though.
Yeah.
Proves that getting these specific results is literally impossible for the AI generator on its own. It's requiring such constant guidance and human input. This literally feels like me making changes on a canvas with a brush, and based on the result.
I thought you didn't like making changes on a canvas with a brush, dude. Thought he said that at the beginning. He didn't like that shit.
To liken copy pasting, cropping, copy pasting shit from one side of a picture to another, to like making changes on a canvas. Oh my lord, I take personal offense to that.
There's
I take
a
personal
really
offense to that.
big difference between, as somebody who has worked in and played with different mediums, and I have not gotten to play with like canvas painting as much as I would like to because it's expensive and I don't really have the space for it. There's a big difference between sketching and inking and digital art and doing different things in digital art, working with different brushes, and painting with watercolor or painting with like oils or acrylic paint even. There's all of these things feel different because the texture is different. That is a physical thing. There is a physical texture to each of these things. AI art does not have a physical texture to it.
I go back into the prompt, changing it, making greater weight and differences, continually refining towards the result that I want. And we finally have...
I don't know if you guys noticed, there's a character limit in the generator.
Oh, so his AI
a
is
much
limited
better
as
image,
fuck.
which is the direct
Yeah,
result
hold on, look at
of
this.
very intentional action taken by myself. This wasn't the AI.
Intentional action.
Yeah,
You know what's
I mean, it's
intentional action
true.
also?
He clicked that generate button a bunch. That's intentional.
Yeah, no, you know what's another generational intentional action? Taking poo and flinging it on the wall, hoping something will stick. That's also intentional.
Spaghetti!
Doesn't make
like
it art,
spaghetti.
you asshole!
Teary in the chat, I really like lying in my bed and watching trash. It literally feels like moving my legs and running a marathon.
Oh god.
Pushing for these results, that was me, as if I had a digital brush remaking the image. Still not perfect,
sure.
we need to make some fixes in Photoshop. Removing lines,
Digital
artifacts,
brush remaking
defining
the
certain
image.
shapes,
Fuck you.
fixing up colors, and more. Back into image, we're going to do another generation, but with a much lower setting.
I don't know if you
because
guys,
we don't want the
I
AI.
don't know if you guys noticed this. So what he's doing, right, when he's talking about like I have to high res this section every time, it's because he's painting over it with basically a fucking MS Paint circle brush and then telling the AI to render it for him. So it's going in and doing the lighting work, the texture work, the highlight work, like all of those steps in between from so it's doing everything. If I put a circle of color, or I took the circle tool in MS Paint and I made a circle, right? And then I threw it into AI and then wrote a bunch of like light or copy pasted a lighting prompt, threw that in there, highlighted this area, and then said like high res render it, and then it did all of the shading work of like the classic shaded ball. That's what he's doing. The thing he did was he painted a circle. Except he didn't even paint the circle. He had to get an AI to generate a circle for him. And then he had to tweak it because the circle was fucked up. Amazing.
AI to change the image too much at this point, but what we want is for the AI to blend all those edits together so they look seamless. And look at the result here. This is so much better. In fact, the top is basically done. It's easily of high enough quality that many people would be happy with. I'm going to make some additional edits a little later on, but we are ready to move on to other elements of the image, like fixing up the skin tone on the legs.
That is a very big difference, by the way, when you're doing a painting. And a painting, yeah, you can do section by section, but you're generally painting the whole thing at the same time. So when you're painting, like, when you paint an image, you're generally already thinking about the lighting, so you're incorporating that as you're going, because it is a full piece that you're working on all at the same time. And then you can start, once you start doing detailing, you can kind of like zoom in section to section to section to section. But but you're gonna like bounce back and forth and bounce around and like do this over here, do that over here, tweak that, do that. Because sometimes when you change something over here, it makes something over here look weird. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so, matters.
You're looking at this whole thing at a time and keeping in mind that the AI, he is limiting the AI to only working on this very specific... Like, the AI has blinders on and cannot see anything else that it's doing. Or anything that it's attaching itself to. Right?
Fixing up the hands and so they look far better and more realistic. This again is literally digital illustration that I'm applying to the image. We're going to fix up the color in certain parts as well, and then even make more significant changes to the color because I actually want red cuffs instead of pure gold. So this is a matter of adding a color layer and adjusting the layer settings to change the color from underneath but using the same texture and shading. Back into image to image, and then I'm going to regenerate the hand and cuffs. But I want the prompt to guide it in the direction where I want, and there is a lot of elements in the prompt that are completely unnecessary for hands.
He didn't block out his wife's name.
Oh no.
Need to add detailed hands to the prompt for it to give it a focal point that I'm generating hands here, and then I can remove a lot of the other unneeded elements, and now the hands are looking much better.
I'll pause it here so I can talk. I didn't want to leave it paused on where the name was showing. I don't know if her name is out and available. I don't know if that's a thing that exists somewhere. I'm only mentioning that because he did have it blotted out before, and now does not, so...
What's going on there, buddy?
What happened there? You might wanna YouTube...
Are you getting divorced?
You might wanna YouTube blur that. Yeah.
I'll let him know. What's the timestamp on that? Sorry?
Nah, it's anytime he's making edits to the thing.
But the cuffs don't look metallic enough or armored enough, so I'm going to regenerate those with the mecha Laura added back in, which is going to make it look more metallic. And with that, we are almost done the larger elements, bringing the image into a higher resolution, and the next crucial stage is to
it's just like anytime he's making these changes, it's not blocked.
Generate a higher resolution and more detailed face. But of course, we're going to be giving this image the face of my wife, and so I'm going to load in the model that I personally trained, and we're going to use that in image to image to generate my wife's face. And I'm going to adjust the prompt to give her the expression that I want. I want her smiling. My wife has one of the most beautiful smiles in the world. And so...
That's not your wife, though. That's not your wife. That is not what your wife looks like, does she?
So... Alright.
Talk to me, girl. Talk to me.
Remember when we talked about the safety of, like, people having access to whatever he utilized to generate his wife? That's the information that he didn't blur. Which means that if it's just, like, again, I don't know how he's gone about doing this, but if it is just a matter of, like, knowing what the prompt is, because the prompts, or whoever generates what, are available via the program, anybody could now, theoretically, or potentially, I should say, could potentially, knowing what the prompt name is, specifically, will be able to pull it.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, now her whole name is out there. Because why wouldn't you just name the prompt not your wife's actual name, you fucking idiot? Just call it my wife, you fucking moron. You didn't have to name it that. You could have named it anything. You could have named it what I wish my wife looked like. Yeah, there's like some serious like big question mark. Have you seen the question mark ping in League of Legends? It's a bunch of those all at once every time he like does stuff like this, and the way he talks about his wife is just a really big fucking what? This isn't like, normal. Yeah, I think it's a local version of Stable Diffusion. That's code is his wife's face, and it's trained to use that. That is my understanding. However, I do not know what is available through Stable Diffusion and how it encrypts or hides or keeps that information out, right? Because he's putting it in while it's scraping the internet. Right? Like, he's not, like, this isn't, like, he's not only using localized right now, and it's got that prompt, and he's generating her face. Right? The non-localized version it's being utilized by the non-localized version. Right? So I don't know how safe that is for other people trying to scrape for it. Now, again, it's not safe anyway because he's putting these pictures out there, and all these pictures of his wife now exist, so people would be able to generate their own based off of those anyway. But I digress. Yeah, I don't think he's obsessed with her. I think he's obsessed with some version of her that may or may not be real.
So we generate it several times with different settings until
something he wants, and his wife is not that.
Or what he wants other people to view his wife as.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a face that is actually looking really, really nice. And the image could be considered mostly complete at this point, but I'm a perfectionist, I'm an artist. I want this image to be as good as possible. This is the difference between someone with an artistic eye.
No, that's not how art works. I as somebody who does art on a regular basis, sometimes you just scrap everything you worked on. Sometimes you leave things unfinished. A lot of the times you do. Man. One of the things that I learned that helped me get so much better at art is only put as much work into a piece of art as you're getting out of it. So you do not put a bunch of additional work fighting with an art piece to finish it or make it good, because art is never finished. That's like a classic thing you learn as an artist. Art is never done.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just go like, nope, scrap it, start again. No, just erase everything, start again. That does not seem to be a part of his... that's not even a part of his process. It's not even close to it.
He is lazy ass. He is lazy ass.
I'm gonna laugh cringe out of my seat. That's what's probably gonna happen.
An eye for proportion and detail versus someone who doesn't. There are many people who would look at this image and not be able to see any additional errors or flaws, and that can be well...
You don't even have to be an artist to recognize additional errors and flaws in this.
Nope.
The size of the head, for one thing. Just that alone. Bro, why do you want your head... Her neckline. For somebody who doesn't like Barbie, why do you want your wife to look so much like
Barbie?
Well enough, I think someone would have every right to be proud of the final result and quality of this image. It is beautiful, but there is a difference between making good AI art and making some of the best. I want the top to look a bit more like armor, and so I'm going to start regenerating the top with a greater weight on armor, with the mecha Laura added back in. And there are some interesting results with good potential. I'm going to combine some of the best features of both. The chest and center of this image is really, really good, but the wrinkles on the side look awful, and so I'm going to bring in the side parts of the body from another image. I'm going to clean up and reposition some of the line work, bring back the gold highlights, and bring
See,
back
he's
a
just
much
putting
better
the pen
looking
and then
belt that was on one
re-resing
of the
it.
previous versions. There are some other errors on the image that need to be fixed, like the position of the cape. It looks like there's just a separate bit of detached cloth. The cape is coming down far too low here compared to how it flares out on the side, and so we're going to remove those incorrect elements
Depends
on
on
the
the side
cape.
of the-
The earring is standing out
Depends on the size or the type of the cape. Some capes are shorter and then get longer at the back. So it just depends on what type of cape you're creating. But you don't know what type of cape you're creating because you don't have that knowledge. You're just eyeballing this and being like, I like this, I don't like that, I like this, I don't like that. And then just hitting the go button over and over again until you get what you want.
too much and doesn't suit the image, so we're going to remove that. And the expression of
She has
my
no more
wife
ears.
just
Her
doesn't
ears are
look
gone.
right. And
You
so I'm
just
going to
removed
load
her
in
ears.
another face model, which generates
Oh my
my
God,
wife's face in a more
no.
artistic
It's all that good anatomy, guys. Women don't have ears,
So
right?
now he's copy pasting his wife's face on it. Gotcha.
I think it's already there, and now he's like...
No. It
style,
wasn't
which won't
doing
suit
it,
the
wasn't-
image, but it always does better proportions. And so I'm going to generate a version with that model of my wife's face,
Oh,
use that
okay.
as a base guide, and then use the more realistic face model to give us the final expression. And it looks more natural with a better smile. Because I was just
Natural?
generating a section of her head, her hair now looks of a different style
What's
compared
natural
to
about
the
her
hair
body?
that is flying off to the left. And so I'm going to select the hair and regenerate it so it's consistent. We are now
He
very,
could have
very
just
close,
drawn
but
all
there are
this
still
shit.
some finer details.
He really wanted.
She has no ears. He just removed her ears. They're gone forever. And the reason he removed her ears and just forego that piece of anatomy was because he thought the earring was too bright. And it's like, dude, you could have just dimmed the earring and made it not so shiny, and then you would have maintained the anatomy. But you don't know how to do that because that's compositional, that's color and lighting work. That's understanding values. And no, I don't mean the value of the art, I mean the value of the weight and of the color, meaning like how the hue saturation and how like dark or light something is. Like when you fucking do something in black and white, you are messing with the values and how much or how hard of a contrast you want. That like how dark something is. Then you put the color over top and you adjust your saturation for how you want. Ears removed for aerodynamics.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Details that just need to be fixed, like the sections of cloth here on the skirt, some odd
I mean, that other
indents
one
and
that's
lines
fucked
on
up
the
too.
top, and there's
Missed
too
it
sharp a
part.
transition on the shading on the bust, and so we're going to smooth those out.
Look
This
at
is
this
looking
loop.
pretty darn good. But there is a problem with the image, and once again, I wonder if you can notice it. Only someone who is familiar with
only
anatomical
one.
proportions would be able to notice this.
Oh, really? And
Her shoulders
you
are
are.
Wait. Did he just say only someone with anatomical proportions? That's everyone! Everyone has anatomy!
Am I an alien or something? From the Guardians of the Galaxy?
You know who is an alien? Supergirl.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry. He's about to say something about her shoulders being wrong. Okay.
image, and once again, I wonder if you can notice it. Only someone who is familiar with anatomical proportions would be able to notice this.
Oh, familiar with. I thought he said with.
Her
I didn't
shoulders
think it-
are far too wide to the rest of her frame. It
What?
makes her look way too bulky. And so we are going to fix these proportions with the Photoshop Liquify tool. Simple, subtle
No!
changes, but it actually
That's
has
wrong!
a very significant effect on the overall.
No, incorrect, wrong, sir, no.
The one thing that AI did good for you was
He just
give you
he just
like a correct proportion of the
transvestigated
shoulders.
her.
Yeah, like it gave you the correct, like the length of the shoulders, and the only correct thing the AI got, and you destroyed that now.
The problem
Good
isn't
job,
the
sir.
shoulders.
Good job.
The problem isn't the problem is the head.
Yeah, that too. But
That
the,
the
shoulder
problem
length
is
fine.
that no, like look. If you want to say like the shoulders don't look right, right? Because he thinks they're too far apart. The reason they look too far apart is because you have her hips going, like, she has no hip bones. She's got thighs out here, because you're generally the proportion is, like, if you look at, like, general figure drawing, because, again, this is, we're talking average here. We're not getting into, like, when you start purposefully distorting things. Like, when you start going into, like, cartooning, or if you're specifically trying to enunciate, or you're talking about different body types. We are sticking with, like, bare bones basic. This is, like, you draw a cylinder, and then these are, like, the 7 heads, like, your classic art class proportions. Her hips are too thin.
Yeah,
Her shoulder to bust to stomach area is fine, but her hips are too thin. Unless
that's what I kept saying when I said her legs are wonky.
Yeah, unless she's supposed to be leaning forward. Her legs aren't actually attached to anything. This is a common problem you see in anime. When it comes to anime proportions, a lot of, like, old school anime have a skirt and the person has no butt or hips because the skirt is there and then legs just stick out from underneath. The connecting portion is just not taken into consideration because they're just hiding it with the skirt. Go look at Sailor Moon. It's a classic example of this.
If he's going to reduce the distance between the shoulder blades or the shoulders, her head will look bulbous. Unnaturally
Her head already
large.
looks bulbous. It looks bulbous now.
Yeah, and he made it worse. Made it worse. Like,
her
good on you,
head
guy.
is...
And you have a very keen eye on human anatomy. Keen
eye.
Yeah.
Keen eye, refined through a lot of practice.
Shoulders are far too wide to the rest of her frame. It makes her look way too bulky. And so we are going to fix these proportions with the Photoshop Liquify tool. Simple, subtle changes, but it actually has a very significant effect on the overall appearance and composition. The shoulders now look consistent with the rest of her frame, and overall she looks more feminine and delicate, which I personally like and is more accurate to my wife as well. With all these changes done, we are now ready to generate the final high-resolution version.
One day, there's gonna be one day we're gonna see his wife and her head's just gonna be naturally. She's just gonna have a real big head. She has trouble finding hats and helmets. Hey, look, some people got big craniums, dude. I don't know what to tell you. More delicate, yes, for a superhero. Correct, because that's his preference. Like, he likes delicate, demure women.
Yeah, who can punch hard somehow.
We're going to use the Ultimate SD Upscaler, which is an extension that you can download in Stable Diffusion. Using the 4x Ultra Upscale Checkpoint, another thing that you can download, we're going to increase the resolution by 3 times, which is going to add lots of finer details.
Yeah.
And here we have the final image. And when I look at it, I'm honestly put in a state of awe as to how beautiful this image is. The lighting, the movement, the flow of the hair, cape and cloth, the design of the outfit.
But the hair doesn't match the movement of the cape. The hair is only going one direction and the cape is going out both sides. The hair should be doing the same thing.
Her head is still out of proportion. Her legs look stupid. Like, she's not stupid, but her legs look...
Where's her elbow?
Yeah.
She has no ears.
Yeah, why don't she have ears?
Look at this compared to this. Is this cloth all of a sudden? God. Is this armor? What material is this? I mean, I guess a state of awe is fair. I'll take that. I'm in a state of awe.
The finer details, the metallic sheen and how the S just pops out at you. And of course, it has the beautiful face of my wife. And now let's just compare the before and after. This was the beginning image generated.
Much better.
That is not even the first image that he generated. That was the third image he generated. Yeah. But okay.
From the first prompt. We were able to take that prompt, which already took a lot of human input to refine and get right, generate an image, and using all the artistic ability that I've developed through my life, we were able to turn that image into this. The combination of artistic ability, technical knowledge in the
equally
program,
bad.
working
That's
with
not
multiple
artistic
models,
ability.
applying
Fuck
RAWs
you.
to get the effects that we want, multiple different tools within the program, from high-res fix to image to detailed multiple steps of in-painting,
It's a Swiss Army knife. It's tools within tools.
personal
it's not
custom-made
in-painting
models that I
either.
train
It's not
myself,
in-painting at
and a
all.
better
It's not
extension
painting at
for
all.
a much more refined, upscaled, high-resolution result. And that is just having a technical knowledge of Stable Diffusion, knowing how to use multiple tools, let alone
But you didn't explain how or what a single one of those things did. You just did them until it worked. Until it just spit out whatever the fuck you thought looked good.
Yeah. And still got the body proportions wrong.
Oh, well,
Nice.
yeah, whatever. That's a skill
Whatever.
issue. We're gonna call this a skill issue.
the illustration ability I was able to apply in Photoshop to edit, clean up, fix, and
Illustration ability.
create the
Copy-paste.
image that I wanted. And here we can see the process which we just
I
undertook.
wanted.
There are some image stages that are not appearing because I didn't save them at that stage. But you can still see the overall process, which took me 2.5 hours from start to finish. A lot more
Oh.
time.
You know how much time it would have taken the original artist to like paint that into existence? Not 2.5 hours. I can guarantee you that. From the concept making to the final finish, where the guy said, okay, I'm going to stop here now.
Sometimes art goes really well and it can take a very short period of time. Sometimes art takes weeks. As you fight
But
with
something like this will
I
take
have-
time.
I
It
have
won't
done-
take 2.5 hours.
I've done hyper realistic paintings before in a matter of hours. In like somewhere between an hour and a half.
You did
and 4.
Yeah, you did one for mine, but it was like hyper realistic, but it like kind of matched my features and stuff.
Oh sure,
Remember?
yeah.
Yeah.
But like you could. It's sad that this took him 2.5 hours. I did actually expect this to take longer than 2.5 hours. I thought, and now that's just me giving him too much of the benefit of the doubt, I guess. I thought what he was doing in Photoshop was more substantial than like 30 seconds, click, 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 gone. Okay, flip, there we go, back in it goes.
Oh boy.
Work, effort, and skill needed than just a click. I can't see
You
how
don't
anyone
have any-
who've watched this entire process could then assume that the AI is just doing all the work, and that there is no
Yes.
human
Because the AI did
artistic
all the
vision
work.
or input or talent needed. People who say such
Correct. This did not take talent. This did not take work. It took human input. You had to ask the computer to do the thing. You had to click the button.
Yeah.
So I guess in
Yeah.
that case, yes. True.
Sure, dude, sure.
No.
Oh no.
such things honestly do not know what they are talking about. They are statements from profound ignorance when it comes to this technology.
Aww.
And deeply insulting.
Bro, you don't get to say that after you failed in a video where you intended to tell people how it worked when you didn't tell people how it worked. 2.5 hours of trial and error. There you go.
To me as an artist who has just made something of deep artistic expression and love for my wife. And
Is
not just
deep.
images of my wife, of characters
It
that
might
I
be
love.
like deep
I
love
can
for
also
your wife,
create
but it's not deep artistic
incredible
expression. Stop obfuscating both.
Based on the art made by other people that he had to grab bag out of because he doesn't have the skill to do so and doesn't have the love for art to do so because, as he said, he doesn't like drawing, painting, or inking. He doesn't like doing any of the art part. He loves creating,
Exactly.
but hates the creative process. Weird.
high detailed, truly stunning pieces of art of my own characters and stories. These AI art generators do not need to be feared. When used in combination with your
No
artistic
one's
ability,
fearing them. You're just ridiculing
artists
them.
can get the very best results out of AI art generators.
if you gave me this fucking picture and told me, like, if you gave me a rough of something you wanted and gave it to an artist and that artist went, okay, and you said, here's what I want from it, and they went, okay, here you go, you could go through the same trial and error process without having to steal from the artists. And accidentally doxing your wife.
They can be the most incredible tools for artists. And if artists are worried about getting replaced, they need to understand that they have the ability to make the very best AI art. And they could never be replaced when they're still making the very best quality at a competitive rate, speed, and quantity to what many industries are looking for and want. And that's just the commercial industry side of this discussion. The claim
it's definitely not about, like, the erasure and stealing of other people's styles.
Yeah, scanning the web browser for other people's art styles and, like, copying them, and yeah.
It's not, that has nothing to do with it. That's definitely why the writers didn't just strike so hard.
As someone from an academic background, this is the most I hate plagiarism.
All right. Oh, hold on.
And that's what.
Time out. I got a question. Is there anybody in chat who's got, like, a little bit of free time? Like, they're bored and they want something fun to do? If you do, I would absolutely love for somebody to take a little bit of time and make an AI voice generator for Shad, get download a bunch of his transcripts from his videos, put them into ChatGPT, and then get, like, there's enough of his face out there, so go ahead and grab that and slap that into a generator, and then make a YouTube channel called Shadversity 2 Electric Boogaloo, and start producing Shad content. Please.
You should remind it, because it's art. You should remind it because it's art.
You have to do 2.5 hours of input work to make this channel.
Minimum.
If someone is bored enough, please do this and send it to me, because I want to see it, but I'm too lazy to do it. And unlike somebody else, I'm not going to pretend that it was me.
Oh god, this was
it'd be so
but that's what we do,
fucking funny. Oh, it would definitely be more than 2 hours of work. Yes, it would be more than 2 hours. It's definitely something that is doable and would be really, really, really funny. Like, really fun. Like, come on, it'd be really funny. It'd be like one of those, you get like fucking Shad playing Five Nights at Freddy's. Liquid Shad. Oh,
like,
brother.
the audacity, like, to claim that this is art and he's an artist. Like, the audacity, the fucking audacity. If you were in, like, an academic institution, he would have been kicked out by now for plagiarism.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, yes.
At all is a statement of profound ignorance and elitism. And people can believe that. I just know it's not true.
Yeah.
Because
the most elite of us all, the artists that tend to live in, like, not the greatest living conditions because their work isn't valued, Shad. And their craft isn't valued, Shad. Oh my god. Now, don't get me wrong, there is elitism in art. It exists. That's what you, like, that's where you get, like, some weird museum shit and, like, rich people using art to launder their money. That's a thing. But that is, like, a niche, I guess.
No, I continually experience deep artistic satisfaction from the things I am able to create with these incredible tools. Because look at this final image. How could anyone say that it is made by AI when it's literally impossible?
It's made by AI.
It's made by AI.
It's made by AI.
How.
Yeah, AI to have made it. You saw how much human input was involved to create this image, this piece.
Yeah, are you gonna give credit to the person who Are you going to give the credit to the person who programmed the AI? Because they did more human input than you did.
Yeah.
What about all the artists' work that had to be scraped to get the image? Because they also put more human work into it than you did. No? Alright.
piece of art. I hope everyone who's watched this video now knows that no, this is a piece of art made by me, made by a human, using tools in combination with other artistic tools like Photoshop and my own artistic ability. It is still
I'm going to punch myself if you say
human-made
that one more
art,
time.
just assisted with AI technology.
Oh my god, the music in the end, like it's like some superhero-like finale or
I
something
wonder
like
if
that.
he AI'd that too, or if he had to rip that off of somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
This is not art, this is plagiarism. That's what it is, in short. If anybody wants to summarize it to him, if he tries to say, oh, if it's not art, then what it is? It's plagiarism.
And you?
Yeah.
Yo, brother.
Bruh.
Bruh.
God. I'm gonna go to his video and say this is not art, this is plagiarism.
Well,
this
I
is
feel like
this I take
feel like
offense to that.
You wanted to make a shitty point about your shitty shit that you're trying to fucking push forward because you have to do that, otherwise you look like an asshole, and we know you how much you look like an asshole about everything. And then you had just had to, like, was this worth accidentally doxing your wife over? Was that... Alright, we can be done now. Are we done? I have something to cheer us up. And then we can we
go for it, please. We need something to cheer us up, yes.
And you pushed me. What in the sweet hells were you thinking? Activating that blast? I was right there! Gods! Next time. No. If there is a next time, I'll be the one aiming your powerful weapon. Thank you. After 200 years of shit, pure shit, I think I deserve something better. I was wondering when you're going to ask me about this. Oh. What? No. Don't you dare.
A few moments later.
Of course! What fun. I'm going to fucking kill you. The thing that will decide my fate forevermore. Yes, it's been on my mind. Why? I can't imagine getting bored of all of that myself. But you never know.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We're gonna get on out of here.
Thank you, everyone. Exhausted,
later.
my god. This is torture.
Have a good night, everybody. I hope you all have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Cheers.
Hello.
Welcome back to Don't Affect Friday.
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 It's going to be fun.